Well, hello, everyone. How are you guys today? This is Dr. Lisa again. And remember, I'm a doctor of metaphysics and divinity, so I can't write you a prescription. Can recommend a super good crystal. And I am so excited to talk to you right now about day 2 of the Soulful Reconnection Summit. That is right. We are about to start day 2 very, very shortly at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Now, today is a day that's kind of all about you. I'm so excited. Like, this is going to be amazing. We are kicking things off with my good friend Michelle. She's going to be talking about surviving the ghost, what to do when your partner disappears from your life. That she's going to be starting to speak at 1:20 p.m. at 1:20 p.m. Eastern. If you've ever been ghosted by a long-term partner, this definitely is the talk for you. Now, we're going to follow that up with Miss Lindsey at 2:10 p.m. And she's going to be talking about grieving in the midst of your awakening. I don't know about you guys, but I have noticed that since I've just gone on this journey and been really, really super vigilant and just like, hey, this is what's going on, opening myself up to other areas of spirituality and knowledge and all these other things, my old life is just kind of drifting away. And there can be a bit of a grieving process involved there. So you'll definitely want to come back for that. Then we're going to take a really quick break. And then where are all my mommies to be and my new mommies? We want to talk about empowered motherhood. My dearest Cheyenne is going to be discussing energy healing for pregnancy and postpartum wellness. You are not going to want to miss that if you are currently pregnant, have just recently had a child, or listen, if you're still dealing with some of that aftermath, that a lot of women they do undergo, right? Postpartum depression. So you're going to want to be a part of that. We're going to round out our speakers then with Ms. Alanna Hay Thomas, and she's going to wrap it all up for us, speaking about authentic living through self awareness. She is a self awareness coach, and her insight and how she utilizes certain tools like journaling and other things, you're not going to want to miss that either. Then we're going to have a panel discussion where we'll bring all of the speakers back, and whoever, all of the speakers from yesterday, whoever wants to join us. And we're going to talk about what does empowerment mean to you. We'll take some of your calls. Please do not forget to go to soulfulreconnection.net to sign up. That way you can come backstage into the backstage area with myself and the speakers, aka the StreamYard studio. Like, I really wish I had like a camera I could pan in the StreamYard studio. Maybe someday. But you can be in the StreamYard studio and like have private chats with us. And that's how you get access to all the free gifts. And don't forget, this is also the VIP ticket. Every VIP ticket, $20 of that ticket is going to go to Hurricane Helene relief in right here in Western North Carolina. Be there. I can't wait to see you. Guys, I'll see you very soon for day 2 live. Oh, you can also join us on Facebook, on Instagram, not Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on X as well, for free as well. But if you want those gifts and you want to get backstage with us, join us with that link, soulfulreconnection.net. Guys, I'll see you guys super, super soon. Can't wait. Oh my gosh, it's coming. Bye. Hello, everybody. Wow, it's coming and it's here. Hey, how are y'all doing today? I'm so excited that we are all back today. Now, you guys, there's a couple things I have to type over here. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm just getting the last couple things done. So listen, I hope everybody's yesterday was great. We had an amazing day yesterday. Hey, Sister Michelle, it's been so long. Um, we are live though on X. Let me refresh this because we should. Yep, we're live on X. We are live on the book. Let me open up my Facebook. I had to close everything down and reopen it. Do you guys ever have to do that when you're working on stuff? I know a lot of us work from home now, and I just need to be sure. Am I? Yep, I'm live. Oh my god. We are live everywhere. This is kind of amazeballs to me that I actually managed to get everything right the first time. YouTube, Facebook, and X, we are all live, loud, live, and in charge. Now, so yesterday was just amazing. We had four fabulous speakers. All four women that I love dearly, and we've been working together in some capacity in as clients and whatnot. So I'm super, super excited to be able to come back today. Now, just as that intro video just showed you, today is going to be kind of like this all about you, right? And so I know that the ladies have a lot to share with you. But to me, the theme of the day is moving through the challenges in our lives, however they present themselves, and then becoming that empowered person that you have always wanted to become and that you have always, that you are, right? That you truly, truly are. So and in every area right now, I know that this is focusing very much on women. So I don't mean to, you know, just disregard the men. But I'm just saying it is focusing on women. So, but you guys can come and listen. And anybody that you think that would really benefit from this, come on through. Again, we're going to be talking about how to heal after a toxic breakup, right? A ghosting breakup, after a long-term relationship that's really rough, right? Especially if that you're dealing with a narcissist and all, and then they just kind of like leave, and then it's just like it's a whole mess, right? So that's what we're going to kick off and talk about first, and then we'll be talking about the process that we go through, um, you know, a grieving process almost as we're going through our awakening. I don't, again, for me, as I've been growing and learning and things, and kind of moving away from some of the belief structures that I had that were taught to me or that I had as a child and as a teenager and young adult, and then as an ordained minister, as a prophetess in the church. And I've moved away, not moved away like, oh my gosh, I'm just this, horrible hellion. But my belief structures have changed, and there's been a lot of different awakenings to, even if not on a spiritual aspect, just awakening to what we all thought was real ain't. you know, like I know you guys have been in that situation where you're recognizing that the matrix ain't real, and that some of the structures and beliefs that we've had, we now understand it's not what we thought it was. Especially right now, where a lot of us are coming to that realization. So there's a grieving process that we actually go through, because you are literally shedding your old life and then starting anew. You're shedding your old life and you're starting a new one. And that old life with those old beliefs, and that no longer serve you, those old emotions that no longer serve you, those old feelings and structures in any area of your life that just don't serve you anymore, those things go bye bye. And as that goes bye bye, we do need to go through a bit of a grieving process, right, to kind of release that so we can step into the new. So Lindsay's going to talk to us about that. We're going to have a quick break. Then we're going to bring Cheyenne up, and she's going to talk to all the mommies to be in the mommies and that are already, and how can we have an empowered motherhood, right? Dealing with the different things that happen just during pregnancy and then postpartum. Okay. And we're going to round it out with Alanna. And I cannot wait for Alanna Hay Thomas to come up to you and to kind of tie this all together in her own unique way, and talk about, living, actually living a life of self-awareness and being authentic with that. So this is going to be a very powerful day. Snehi is in the background. I'm going to try to bring her up. You guys may remember she just recently did a wellness, um, oh my God, podcast, my new Wellness Alchemy podcast. Um, so Snehi, I want you to be available in a couple of hours, so be dialed up, and I might have you come up during the break, and we'll have you talk to the folks for a little bit here. Hey, how are you, sweetie? How are you? It's good to see you again today. So again, and Alanna is backstage in our stream yard backstage studio. Listen, if you want to join us in the backstream, in the StreamYard backstream studio, you can do so at any time. Great, thank you so much. Happy Sunday, happy day 2. Thanks, Tamara. Tamara's joining us again in the studio back there, and that's where those of us that are our speakers are all back there that are able to make it, as well as the folks that did this and the folks that then went to soulfulreconnection.net. That's soulfulreconnection.net. And those folks have been able to get access to the StreamYard back room. Okay. The StreamYard back room. So go to soulfulreconnection.net to do that. Sorry, guys. And also, you'll be able to sign up for the VIP ticket when you do the VIP $29 ticket, just so you are aware. I think most of you should be by now, and I want to thank everyone that's done so. And we'll start sharing some of the totals. But guys, we're a little bit short of our, my goal here. So share this with everyone. Hit the like on whatever platform you're on. Share it with folks. You guys know what we're going to be talking about today now. $20 of every VIP ticket will be donated to the Hurricane Helene victims. And guys, let me tell you something. There's a lot going on with that still. Like, you would think there's people in the hills, that in the mountains, that don't still have access to clean water. And so we've got mothers and elderly that are utilizing not clean water for their, to make formula or to wash. They don't have any access to good water. And so, we're trying to get at least, gallons and stuff like that to them up there. But we do have medical personnel on the ground that are, detailing that there's going to be a breakout of dysentery if we don't do something quickly. So if you don't think that there's still a need for it, there is very much still a need for us to assist as we get through this time period. And as we try to bring some sense of normalcy. Thank goodness what's happened also here, though, is we've not actually had a really, really big issue with like the weather changing. And so it's still like I need to take some pictures and some videos. Like, all of our leaves are basically still green, and it's getting colder in the evenings, but it is still staying in the 70s during the day usually. So thank goodness. And so hopefully we'll be able to get things restored back to at least some sense of normalcy before, fall and winter sets in. Certainly within the next few weeks, we're going to make every effort. So if you guys could please just share this opportunity with everybody, I would really very much appreciate it. I'm going to drop that link in each platform. I'm going to drop that link on each platform. Here it is over here. And then we're going to drop it here. Oh, no, YouTube. And Pin the message. Okay, on YouTube. I haven't looked at a whole lot of things. I haven't looked. Did you make the donation on PayPal? Did you make it on Cash App? Did you get a VIP ticket, Sister Michelle? If you could just let me know which way you did that, and then during the day here, I'll check and make sure. Okay. Thank you for alerting me to that because I've been so like kind of tied up with it on PayPal. Okay, cool. I'll go in and I'll take a peek. Okay. But we'll take a peek at the break. And if you're still here, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I'll just respond to you to the PayPal. All right. Thank you so very, very much. Okay. We have 3 minutes to get before we're going to bring up our first guest. What am I going to talk about in the last 3 minutes? Oh, the next 3 minutes. Okay, listen. This is really, really important. Take a moment and share this on your platforms or tell somebody. I don't know. I don't care. Just tell somebody. This is what we're doing and we're live right now. Also, I want you to know that for everyone that is signed up for the VIP, you're going to be getting an email over the next couple of days that's going to have all of the VIP links listed so that you can take advantage of those VIP benefits, right? Also, anybody that signs up for the free ticket, right? So not only do you get to be backstage here, but you also are going to get an email in the next few days so that you too can go on and download each of these wonderful gifts that are here, as well as y'all are going to be able to get a link, okay, to be able to join myself and all of the ladies that you've seen here thus far, as well as other folks that are part of the Soul Fire Syndicate Mastermind. You're going to get a chance to join us on Thursday night. So I can't wait for that either. Okay, so I am going to say, hey, Michelle, are you ready back there? I need you to turn your camera on, Ms. Michelle, and backstage so that I can bring you up. Oh, she's on camera, guys. Now I want you to know that's okay. I want you to know, okay, that this is a treat. So when Michelle shows her beautiful face on camera, this is a treat for y'all. Okay, you're gonna love her energy. You're going to love her presence, her eclecticness, all of the things. And so I am super, super proud to bring to the stage Miss Michelle, and she is going to talk to us about surviving the ghost, what to do when your partner disappears from your life. I am getting, oh, here we go, guys. Yay, this is the room for you. The team for you. So excited. Welcome to the stage, Michelle. Hello, my dear. How are you?
Hi, Dr. Lisa. How are you?
I am very well, thank you. Very well. I'm so glad to be doing this. I've been looking forward to this for so long, for you to really kind of break out and just tell us all about healing in the air and everything. I'm gonna do a really quick. Excuse me. I'm gonna do a really quick here intro with Michelle. So Michelle, in her own words, now this is not me, this is her. In her words, she says she's been around the block a few times. Let's just say that as she says that she's been knocked down more than a feather in a hurricane. Now, if you don't know she from the South with that statement, I don't know what to tell you. But there is one thing with each tumble, she's learned a fierce kind of wisdom. Now her heart is on fire to share the map she has built, the one that leads out of the shadows and straight into healing's sunshine. Michelle, welcome again. Healing in the air. Can you tell us how you got to this place? Like, what is healing in the air all about? And how did you get to this space in your life right now?
First of all, thank you for having me, Dr. Lisa. I'm so excited to share with everyone how I got to this point. with a company, Healing in the Air. So it happened 2 years ago when I actually was ghosted by my spouse. And it's not a pretty story because at the time of the ghosting, I was out of town on a business trip. And it was over the weekend. And I came back home and went upstairs to the room and noticed that my things were on the side of the closet, but the other side was empty. So I'm a little bit confused. I called him. I was like, what's going on? And of course, there was a disconnect with us before I went out of town, but not to the point where you just disappear. So I did call him, and it was very nonchalant or whatever. So I was like, well, maybe he needs his cooling off time or whatever. So I gave him that. And so that 1 or 2 days went into weeks, and the weeks turned into months. And now here we are in February, and this is now our anniversary month. So I'm like, I was so assured that I was going to hear from him. So didn't hear from him. So I was like, you know what? I guess this is it. I guess this is over. Right. So I was like, well, from that point, I was like, I started to feel the pain from the ghosting. It didn't start immediately. It started like right after our anniversary month. So I had to literally grieve the ghosting, like you would somebody that you lose somebody by death. I had to grieve the whole situation and went through the depression state, went through what did I do to deserve this, and my self-esteem was at zero. And my self-esteem hardly ever goes to zero, but it was at zero because I actually thought I did something wrong. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So there's a whole lot to unpack there, right? There's a whole lot there. We're going to take this a little bit step by step. So you all are married, or you're working through that severance of that
We were married, yes, for 6 years.
for
Actually,
6 years. For
six
six
years.
years, you were married.
Yes.
Um, and would you say at the time, in the moment, while you were actively in relationship, did you feel like you were happy? And now looking back, are you realizing that you blew past some red flags?
That is a definite. There were more than one red flag, but I just brushed it off like, maybe we can work it out. But at the end of the day, I'm finding out I'm the only one that's willing to work it out. So it was
Mm,
pretty much one sided, and it didn't equal out at the end of the day, So I couldn't
mm.
make much sense of it. So, I mean, and I was just willing to go the extra mile in everything, but he wasn't.
Okay. So you're willing to go the extra mile. You're willing to put your everything on the line here for this.
Yes.
And he wasn't. Tell me a little bit though about, or if you can tell us a little bit about how 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 did he do this where, because a lot of us have been in this situation, right? So what are some of the signs we can see or notice that this other party really isn't putting in the effort, but really what they're doing is they're either kind of biding their time or they're using you. They're making you do all the work for the
Um,
relationship.
First of all, there was no emotional intelligence. That's the biggest red flag right there. And
Mm,
I didn't pick up on that until like I'm knee deep in the relationship. Here I am 3, almost 4 years in, and I'm realizing that.
mm,
Um, Probably he probably disguised it or had the mask on. Not probably, he did for those first 3 to 4 years. So I couldn't see it. But it
mm.
came out, and wide open during the fourth year. And I was like, just questioning myself, like, no, that can't be it because he loves me. But it wasn't real. It was.
Mm. Okay. So you so ladies, the first thing, ladies and gentlemen, because it can happen to men too. Women can ghost you after a long-term relationship. This is not gender specific. Um, so first thing to really pick up on is a level of, I think emotional intelligence is one thing, but I also think like being realistic with yourself about whether or not you are receiving back the same energy and love from the other party. You might receive it differently, like their love language might be different or whatever, but there should be something in your relationship that's telling you this person is being truthful and they honestly do love me.
Well, the only thing that I could connect to say that he actually loved me was that he helped out with the bills around the house. But as far as like, because my love language is feel, touch, that's me. I'm very touchy feely.
Hmm.
Him, on the other hand, don't touch me, or he doesn't want to be touched, or he doesn't want to reach out and touch me. So I had an issue with that. I'm like, okay, in my mind, I'm like, this is not going to work. It's like almost like oil and water, you know?
No, I agree with you. I guess what I'm saying is that, having, I wasn't ghosted, but having come out of, a marriage to a narcissist, like the second and last actual legal with the license marriage I'll ever do. Um, but coming out of that, there were certain things like he could say I loved you, and there were certain I love you, and there's certain things that he did that would he knew how what to do in order to make me calm down and feel okay and feel secure long enough before the next cycle of blaming and gaslighting and smearing and all that stuff started. And I guess all I'm saying is that we have to be a little bit more emotionally intelligent on our end to pick up on the cues and not just say, well, maybe you'll get better. Well, like, because after a certain amount of time, they don't get, it doesn't get better.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And I take accountability for that, Dr. Lisa,
Hmm.
because I literally picked up a penny on the street and brushed it off and made it shine.
Oh, well, that might be a whole nother thing, honey. Y'all, what was it, K. Michelle's? You can't raise a man. Listen, or the cleanup woman. We can't be the cleanup woman
No.
for the next one.
Yes.
And I'm not saying they got to be perfect because we're not perfect, but we can't be. Can we talk about how some of us like to take on projects? We want to take on the project. And the reason we want to take on the project is because we are projecting what we need to change in our own lives. We don't want to fix us.
That's correct.
Okay, but anyway, we're gonna leave that. That's a whole nother topic, and I need to stay on topic over here.
Yeah. And I fell in
Okay.
love with the potential. So everything was good in the beginning. But can
Hmm.
I reach back into my history a
Please,
bit? A little bit. Not into
please.
the history of this marriage, but my history, my lineage.
Hmm.
So on my mother's side, I'm trying to trace the trauma back down to me. Okay. Well, it stops with me. But on my mother's side, her dad and her mom cheated on each other. Okay. My grandfather, my dad, my mom's dad, had 4 children during the course of his marriage to my mother's mom. Okay. My dad cheated on my mom, had no outside children, but she was cheated on more than once. Okay. And now here I come. On my dad's side, my dad's dad cheated on his mom and had 3 outside children. And then my dad, like I said, cheated on my mom. And then his sister was cheated on by her husband and had 1 outside child. And now here I am. And at my big age, I'll be 50 next year, noticing the trauma that's been going on for years and years and years. And the light bulb goes off, Dr. Lisa, and it says, something is not right. Something is not right. Now, I was raised Christian, and my both sides of the family believes in Christianity, right? But this is something that's traumatic that I don't even think Christianity, it goes deeper than that, if I'm making sense. Because what you have is repeated cycles. And when is it going to stop? When is it going to stop? And so by me recognizing the patterns and the cycles, I'm here to break that curse, to break that traumatic curse, that generational curse that's been flowing from ages, from whatever it started up until now.
That is beautiful. So, do you think, because I mean, I guess to me, we can make the correlation between an emotional ghosting when you actually do choose to have a whole relationship outside of the one that you're supposed to be having, monogamously. But do you think that this ghosting was the kind of next level of cheating? Or was there infidelity going on that you now know of that you didn't know was going on before?
There was definitely infidelity, and I was using my intuition, but it should have been a little bit deeper. I should have went within a little bit deeper,
Mm-hmm.
um, and picked it up when I saw he had two phones.
That's
Now he's from a different country, so I'm trying to understand. Okay, maybe one's for to talk to his family out of the country, and maybe this one is just for to chat with his family that's here. Or was I wrong? Was I wrong? Because
mm,
now you're hiding the phone when you sleep. You're taking the phone with you in the bathroom. It was just a lot of red flags, and it's just like and then not to mention those red flags, and then the slightest little disagreement, Dr. Lisa, the stonewalling. Okay, let's not
mm.
go there. I mean, and that on top of that, um, emotional abuse. Nothing physical. Everything was emotional.
Emotional, right?
So those invisible wounds, with healing in the air, anybody that share the same journey, I would like to, to help them. And going back to your question, healing in the air, the name of the business, I had to rebuild myself all over again.
Mm-hmm.
So by rebuilding myself, I wanted to rebuild myself into something that was royal. Okay.
Mm.
So that's where the name Healing in the Air came in. And I want everybody that shares the same journey to feel like they're royal, because they are.
Yeah, that is beautiful. In understanding an air, thank you, Lindsay. And understanding that heir, HEIR, right? That is, you are the heir to the throne. You have an inheritance
Yes, yes,
that is right there waiting for you to accept
yes,
and waiting for you to say, yep, I will grab my inheritance.
yes. With two hands.
Yeah, I know, right?
With two hands, yes. Because Dr. Lisa, I struggled. The depression was real. I struggled. I went from, because we have a king size bed and the room is humongous. I
Mhm.
went from sleeping in the king size bed. Now, this is through my grieving process, to sleeping on the floor in my office.
Let's
Okay.
talk about that. Let's talk about the grieving process. He leaves.
He leaves, and immediately I'm not, like I say, several months go by, and I'm like, oh, he'll be back, in my mind. He'll be back. I didn't really start the grieving process until February. Now, he left in October of 22. And I didn't really start the grieving until I realized he missed our anniversary, which happens to be Valentine's Day, by the way. So he missed that. And so I was like, okay, this is real. This is really happening.
Some
So
people are going to hear this. I need to ask you this question because I know some people are going to hear this later and they're going to say, well, sweetie, he missed, he been gone. Why did you What was causing you, do you think, to hang on to this belief through Thanksgiving, through Christmas, through New Year's, like all of these like months now? Now that's 4 months later almost, right? What caused you to hang on to this belief, do you think, for so long? Oh, he's going to come back.
Well, one, because like I said, he's not from here. So I'm pretty much the only, family he has. He has friends, but I'm the only family that I know of that's here in the US.
Mm.
So, with that, I'm thinking that, okay, well, and then we built so much together. When we came together, you know, I did have a little bit more than him. And then
Mhm.
from there, we built, and we built pretty fast, pretty
Mm.
fast. So I was like, well, he's not gonna just put to the back burner, everything, especially like all the things I've done for him. So those things were in the back of my head.
Yeah.
So that all that did not matter.
Okay, so you're sorting over these 4 months, you're still sorting through, we built all this, we have this, because in your mind, you've built a kingdom together, right?
Yes. Yes.
You done the dream that a
Mhm.
lot of us, um, especially I'm not gonna say especially anything. A lot of us have the desire and dream to build a life with a partner, to build some level of generational wealth or stability or whatever, however you want to term it, with a partner and grow in that way. And you're thinking, this is my forever at this time in my life. And so now you're having to kind of sort through all that. Okay, so Valentine's Day comes around, tough enough as it is to be alone, doubly, triply, quadruply tough, exponentially tough because that's your anniversary.
Yes.
And this is the first one he's missed and he ain't showing up.
And he hasn't showed up. But guess what? Every year I plan a trip for us to go out of town for a week to celebrate our anniversary. So that year I had a trip planned to, I forget, it was I want to say to Puerto Rico for a whole week during our anniversary week. And still didn't hear from him. So I still went on a trip, but I went by myself.
Well, that, I mean, that takes a lot, right, to even do that. But I, there's a gap here we got to get back to, that grief gap.
Mhm.
Because the realization happens on New Year's, my God, on
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. What's I'm sure the first thought in your head wasn't, I mean, had you already planned the trip? Like, were you on the trip and by
Yes,
yourself?
yes. Well, in Puerto Rico, you can still get phone calls from the US. But yes, I had already flew out and was there in Puerto Rico. And the 14th fell, I want to say in the middle of the week of when I was there. Yeah.
So you're on this trip solo.
Hmm.
He doesn't call on the, what's your reaction? What happens then?
I'm devastated, Dr. Lisa.
No, I know. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just trying to, I'm
No,
just,
no, no, no. Yeah. I'm
yeah.
just, I was beyond words, devastated, beyond words. And that's when I went into like this deep, deep, deep depression. My parents don't know about it, never knew about how deep it was. Um, my siblings, nobody knows how deep it was. I was holding all of that in because it's like the relationships in my family, they have the infidelity going on, but I've never heard of somebody being ghosted. So I'm like the pathfinder. I'm the first. So it's like,
Hmm.
how do I process my emotions? How do I process my feelings? I didn't know, Dr. Lisa. And on
Mm.
top of that, during the grieving process, I work for the federal government. So it's like I'm having to show up every day. every single day with a mask on, depressed, and still be able to perform.
Mm.
So that in itself, I mean, let me just say this. What I experienced was so to the core, hurtful to the core. Not many people make it after ghosting.
Yeah.
Not many people make it. They either wind up losing their mind or they wind up the
Right.
unaliving themselves.
Right. 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 Right.
So for me to be in front of you guys today is truly a miracle. Did I think about that? Yes, I did. I did. But I kept moving. And I talked to myself. I had to really talk to myself through doing the meditations, doing the alone times, doing the journaling. It took everything step by step for me to come out of that. And am I completely out? No, but I am 97% out of that situation, out of the depression.
So talk to me, because this is real. Did you think about at any point, or have you, gone to seek, professional counseling or anything like that to kind of help you get not only just get through, because I hate to say just get through the depression because that just makes it sound like so simple. But what at what point did you kind of recognize, hey, wait a minute, this might be some sort of a root or generational issue, and I need to handle that core issue so that I don't keep attracting this same person into my life?
You said when?
Yeah.
That when didn't start until last year, believe it or not,
No, I could believe it.
towards the end of last year.
Yeah.
And I was like, light bulb went off. And I began to do the tracing back and everything. I'm like, okay, this is not normal. Um, so from that point, I was like, I need to make sure I deal with the going back to childhood, the abandonment wounds, right? Deal with that, and then because that's what attracted this person was the abandonment wound. So worked on that, and in the future, because I haven't given up on love,
Hmm.
in the future, I will not be attracting that type anymore. I will not. It will be of a higher caliber. Not a project, not something I won't have to call myself Barbara Build a Bear. It'll be somebody of a higher caliber. No, Dr. Lisa. Dr. Lisa. Dr. Lisa.
I ain't never that one I've never heard. That's a new one,
Barbara the
y'all. Barbara
Builder.
Build a Bear, y'all. That's a new one.
Yes.
I'm gonna put that one in my repertoire. Um, okay, but you're still so okay. That's that's kind of where I wanted to get to, is that we have to recognize that the results that we're having in our relationships, the people we choose for relationship, the outcomes of those relationships are directly related to our childhood and teenage years, and and wherever stage we're at, but definitely childhood and teenage years. um and for some of us, it's because we've got all these unhealed wounds and unhealed traumas and unhealed things that have we just think that we need to accept because it's always been this way throughout our entire lineage. And that's where I wanted to get us to, is that understanding that, this is, I guess, until you just said that, I don't know why I didn't see it before, but this is the ultimate in abandonment. It's one thing to leave a house and then I'm filing for divorce, and I, leave my wedding band on the counter, or I come to you one day and it's, you know, there's somebody else
Yeah.
and I want to file for divorce.
Mhm.
because at least, yes, that's painful, but you can go through a measure of closure because this person has respected you enough, has the maturity level enough, even if they're not respectful and mature. But at least you get the opportunity to be like, you mother trucker. You know what I'm saying? Like you all get to have an argument, you get to, whatever. In this case, you don't ever get that.
No, there was no closure. But the closure is, I've given myself closure. I've given myself permission to close it out, and that's all I need. I don't need a phone call. I don't need a text. I don't need an email. That is the closure. Because if you really loved me, and if it was really real, that would have never happened.
Mm,
And you couldn't have stayed away from me. It's almost 2 years for that long.
wow.
For that long.
Wow.
So that was a rough journey, but um, I would like to help anybody, male or female, that's going through similar process right now, um, to help them heal through this.
Yes. So we want to talk about that. Okay, hang on one second. I am literally, guys, what I'm typing here is I'm literally finishing up something from Michelle while we are chatting. Like it is literally just that serious around here up to the last minute. Boy, let me tell you something. I work for my ladies. Okay, here we go. Um, Michelle has written an amazing ebook, and I want to get that link here really, really super, really quick. Bear with me one second, guys. Well, talk to us about your ebook while I'm bringing up the page that they can go and grab that ebook from.
Okay, so the title of the ebook is Healing After a Long-Term Relationship. And it's pretty much just a GPS or a navigational tool to help you um, navigate through such a depressing time. Um, there's content in there about meditation. There's content in there with that deals with affirmations, and there's content in there to help you say like you're going through the process and you shut off from your family. There's even content in there that tells you how to reconnect with them after dealing with such a depressing state.
So this is completely free to you guys. Like I will tell you, I've read through this ebook. It is not just an ebook you just like, oh, okay, whatever, and you don't want to read. If you're going through this, I even feel, Michelle, this is my own personal feeling. And guys, I'm dropping the link to that ebook throughout all of the platforms. Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely, Alanna. Yeah, this is an amazing resource, guys. This is absolutely amazing. So I'm dropping this on all the platforms so you guys can download this yourself. And if you want to get this for sure, and there you can also, sign up for soulfulreconnection.net, and you'll be able to grab that as well as the other resources. But as I was reading through this ebook, um, I feel that this is also going to help people who maybe we haven't been ghosted physically, but we've been emotionally ghosted. So we go through the same thing. So as I was reading through it, I was like, you know what? My ex, you know, God rest his soul, my ex emotionally ghosted me because he was a narcissist. So he emotionally ghosted me. So we went from, being in relationship and together every day and whatnot to I have somebody, but I knew he was cheating. I just chose not to even see it. But then once I kicked him out, And I kicked him out. Once I kicked him out and everything, and once things were like where he realized there was no get back at all, then there was no communication. And the odd thing about it is, as much as I didn't want the communication, I did want the communication because now I don't even have the opportunity to argue with you. I don't even have the opportunity to tell you how low of an individual you are. I cannot get any of that off. Nor could I talk to you about the things with the house and everything like that to make sure that that was, that you weren't going to try to come after the house. It was all these things, or I wouldn't even be able to talk to you to say, hey, I'm going to go see your grandkids because, I've adopted them as my own. Just want to be sure you're okay with it. It was just this weird, like, I don't want to talk to you, but I do. And I could feel energetically that he had cut himself. Well, we had been severed, but he physically himself cut himself off energetically, completely, the whole thing, right? That hurt.
It does.
And I've had other relationships that I look past that they emotionally discarded me. So I don't want anyone to think that even if you've not been physically ghosted, guys, this is a great resource to get through the process, the grieving process of the relationship. And that is so, so very important. So very important. I just need to let you know how powerful this is. Like I want you to know it is powerful. And it definitely helped me in a lot of ways. Now, there is another a VIP gift that I definitely want to bring out to the forefront. Bear with me one second. I'm not sure why this is not functioning. Okay, let me just do this. But there's a VIP gift, and you are about to start as I bring this up so I can just show people. I'm not sure why this is not working, but we'll do it this way. I'm gonna figure out a way to do what I need to do no matter what, guys. I do not let technology stop me from getting things done. You are about to launch a really cool support group, membership group, um, about for the heirs and heiresses. Do you want to? I'm going to bring that up right now. Do you want to chat a little bit about what First Heir is about to be as we get ready to launch that for you very shortly?
First of all, the name is very unique, First Heir, um, and it basically is what it is heir to describe, of course, or to correlate with the business name. But when you say it, it's first stair. So it sounds like you're really saying first stair, STAIR. And I want it to sound like that because I want the people who are going to be in the community to take that first step towards being free, to removing those blocks that are stopping them to go through this journey, through this path.
Awesome. And this is truly I love this sovereign healing journey. What does that mean to you to say that you're going through a sovereign healing journey?
Um, me, like I said earlier, rebuilding myself into having a mindset of being royal.
Yeah.
Um, it puts me in a different perspective. It doesn't put me in a perspective like I'm better than anyone else,
Mm-hmm.
but my thinking is higher. And when you think of royal people, you automatically know that their thinking is higher
Yep.
than peasants, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's where I'm going with that. So it's like my thinking is elevated, you know.
Mm.
Before, while in the marriage, I want to say it was like subpar, but now my thinking is through the roof right now. It's way,
Wow.
yeah.
That's tremendous. That is tremendous. So, guys, you're going to get access to that when you get that wonderful VIP ticket that's also going to be helping um, folks who are still recovering from Helene. Um, so please, 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 please feel free to get that ticket so you could get, and you're going to get the first month of this for free. Now with First Air, said it right that time. With that, um, let me ask you a question. What can folks expect to receive or expect to experience when they do join that?
Okay, so they'll receive exclusive healing content, and I'm going off my notes, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Twice a week, which includes meditation, guided meditations by me. They'll also receive journaling prompts.
Hmm.
Also, they'll have access to a supportive community that meets up once a month, and that will be towards the end of the month, where it's going to be several people or more that meet up that share the same um, journey.
That
Exactly.
is that is amazing.
And
That's
I create a safe space for all. So, when you're in the community, nobody holds back. Nobody. There's transparency there, and everything is safe in the community.
and just so you guys are aware, like I want to be sure that you guys know this. What we've done is you're going to be able to go kind of like off platform. So you won't have to be like on Facebook or whatever. We are creating and did create a we're creating a WhatsApp group for you guys to communicate, but you don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to be on Facebook. Now, I'm going to tell you, to be honest with you, I see no I don't have a problem with the private Facebook groups, but I know that's not everybody, and I'm okay with that. So listen, if Facebook groups aren't your thing and you're like, listen, I'm not going on Facebook. I don't care what you say and how you say it. I ain't going. Then that's fine, because Michelle's not one for Facebook either. And so she's like, can we do this differently so that people, you know what I'm saying, so that people you know, can partake in this and feel, be in a completely safe space. So we did not, you won't have to worry about being on Facebook. Okay. This is going to be completely separate and off any social media platforms and within her own private community. Okay. So I just want everyone to be fully, fully aware of that. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is just so amazing. Um and Michelle, your website is healingintheair.com. I'm going to post that everywhere as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Just so you guys can go and check her out there. Healing, I can type air.com. Doing a pretty good job here. Doing a pretty good job. Okay. Michelle, is
And
there anything that you'd like to leave with the folks today that might be going through something very similar, or they're hurting? They're hurting from what's happened in the past.
to anyone who's listening, I want to say, first and foremost, you're not alone. I do understand exactly what you're dealing with, and you your worth is you're worth so much more than what you think, so much more than what you know. Your worth is greater than rubies, it's greater than diamonds. We just have to, if you come into the community, we just have to elevate your thinking and elevate um, the way your perspective.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I am so honored to have been able to share this virtual stage with you. Oh, we do have a question. Yes, Sister Michelle. You can ask, no problem. If you want to, do you want to come up or do you want to ask from there? You can ask either way. But I do still want to thank you. Like this is oh my gosh, we met, this is 2024. So we met in 2023.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And here you go, dear. I'm going to drop the link real quick. And I was down actually in New Orleans visiting a friend, if you might remember. I was down in New Orleans visiting a friend at the time. I was down there with Secret Tarot. And we had some conversations and we finalized everything while I was down in New Orleans, which is your hometown.
Yes.
So it's been a year and I'm just like, it's been a little bit over a year because that was in March of that year.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a lot over a year. It's been almost 2 years and it's been a wonderful time working with you this whole time. I'm going to bring Michelle to the stage. Michelle Holly. Hello, Michelle Holly. How are you?
Greetings, Dr. Lisa. Greetings to you, Sister Michelle. Thank you, Dr. Lisa, for having me on. Sister Michelle, I have a question, please. So
Yes,
I
ma'am.
heard you say that you wrote, you saw the pathology between men and women in your family. And also, I noticed earlier you mentioned, I grew up Christian. Sister Michelle, do you think church dogma locked you? Did you think church dogma had a lot to do with why you felt that you needed to do everything possible to keep your marriage together? Because I do understand that people can grow up watching a toxic pattern in their family, but once religion set into it, it can lock them into it, and especially if you put God on something, it makes you think that I'm supposed to do this because I'm doing God's will. And it's just, and as I was listening to you, Sister Michelle, and I'm not going to start crying, but as I was
You're gonna
listening,
make me cry.
I'm not trying to, Sister Michelle. But as I was listening to you speak, it clicked in my mind when people be talking about God this and God that. They're not talking about Almighty God. They're talking about patriarchy. When you have some people they're talking about God, they're not talking Did I lose connection?
Yes, it was frozen. I didn't hear anything. The last thing I heard was patriarchy. That's it.
So Sister Michelle, it like I was saying, when people are talking about God this and God that, nobody knows what that really is. So I think that they're talking about the structures of patriarchy. When men are talking about give all your money to the church and God is going to bless you, you don't know what that is. Are you talking about capitalism and you just think that that's God? But back to your point, do you think? I'm gonna let you answer my question because I'm throwing too much out there. I'm gonna give you a chance to talk.
Answer it again if you don't mind, because we were in between. It was, kind of stalling.
So, do you think church doctrine locked you into a headspace where you felt that you had to do everything to keep your husband, that it was on your shoulders? Because I know growing up in church, that's the conditioning toward women. I had made a comment in Dr. Lisa's chat where I said, growing up, I had more women be more concerned with how I dress and me putting on makeup and nails because that's appealing to the male gaze. Then no matter how much I told him I don't like makeup, it don't matter. Put it on because that's toward that's for the man. Put it on because you have to make yourself look presentable. I'm clean. I'm presentable. I don't like makeup. I just like my natural look. I feel empowered when I wear my natural look, only to discover that that is more for the male gaze. Now I don't that's not anyone. If a woman wants to wear makeup, wear it because you feel empowered. Whatever you do, you have to feel empowered when you do that. But my question was, do you think religion helped lock you into that mindset, Sister Michelle?
I think it did on so many levels, because you want to be, pleasing to God,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to, um, just try to work it out as much as you can.
Mhm.
But how can it be worked out when there's only one person trying?
Yes.
How? No,
Right.
there was no physical abuse. It was 99.9% emotional abuse. But who in their right mind would want to be attached to that forever and for the rest of their lives?
Of course.
Yes, the vows were said, forever until death do us part, and through sickness and in health. But they should be like revised to say until emotional, or just something emotional abuse, that could be part, you guys could part ways due to that or whatever. But yeah, I was basically trying to be, the good Christian, the good wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it went back to what I was taught.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sister Michelle. Thank you, Dr. Lisa. I'm gonna go back down in the
Thank
chat.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Wonderful. Well, hey, that was fun. And Sister Michelle Holly has been with me for so long. And so I'm so happy to have her here too. Michelle, thank you. Thank you again. Thank you. Thank you. You are a beautiful, beautiful goddess, queen, inside and out. And I so very much appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Dr. Lisa.
You're
You're
welcome.
amazing. You really are.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. All right, we are going to, oh my gosh, ah, we're going to have another opportunity here. Michelle, thank you. Thank you. It was so amazing. That was great. We've got about 2 minutes before our next speaker comes up. Lindsey is going to be our next speaker. So I want to just give everybody a quick opportunity. You guys stretch and do what you need to do. Like, oh my gosh, I've got to like get going here. Oh, ooh, after sitting yesterday was crazy. Tamara says, same. This is from Michelle still. Same. I stayed in my marriage longer than I should have because of church teachings. That happens a lot. Rogue Nerd, hello, hello, hello in New Zealand. We have to connect again. I would love to hear how things are going there. Tamara says, thank you for sharing, Michelle. Alanna says, hi, Rogue. I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so glad, Sister Michelle, you're having a great time. So, guys, listen, if you want to be, you can either join us on YouTube. So, hello to everybody on YouTube. We are on X, we are on Facebook as well. And if you want to join the Backstage Gang, okay, the Backstage Gang, then which is the StreamYard Studio Gang, then I'm going to drop this link one more time, and you are going to be able to get in, have access if you want to the StreamYard Studio, okay? And then you will also have an opportunity to donate to .net, not .com. Oh my goodness. Soulfulreconnection.net. You'll also have an opportunity to grab your VIP ticket, which you'll be able to get all these wonderful VIP gifts as well. And $20 of every VIP ticket is going to Hurricane Helene relief right here in Western North Carolina. All right, guys, are you ready here? I am going to bring up our next speaker, which is the lovely Lindsey. Now, Lindsey is going to be talking to us about grieving in the midst of your awakening. And I just want to introduce you a little bit to her. Lindsey is not your typical spiritualist, nor does she conform to the common perceptions of a shaman or spiritual guide. Serious about her life's path, She aims to make it relatable to others, meeting them on their level and allowing her unique personality to shine. Her services serve as a catalyst to assist individuals in co creating their paths towards self actualization, connecting them with their innate gifts, and reuniting them with their self worth. I am bringing to the stage Miss Lindsey. We are going to have lots of cheers. Cheers for Miss Lindsey. Hello, dear. How are you?
Hello. Oh my goodness.
The screaming teenage girls just are.
I'll take it. I love a good cheer squad. You need to have a cheer squad. You do, honestly. Thank you so much. I am so grateful to be here. Somebody doesn't want me to be here. Literally 2 minutes ago, internet shut off. It was like, you're not connected. Lost. I was like, OMG, like this cannot be happening. But I'm back.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Oh my gosh.
Who doesn't want me to be talking to Dr. Lisa?
Well, it doesn't matter because here you are. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lindsey. Thank you so much. So tell us a little bit now. Lindsey's business is called Crown and Crane. So I want you to introduce yourself because you have a very unique perspective on who you are and what you're here to do. And I know yesterday you introduced yourself a little bit during our panel discussion, but what is Crown and Crane? How did it get started? Why did it get started?
Crown and Crane truly is a business built off of my life experiences, because of my intuition that I gained throughout this awakening process that I've gone through over the past couple of years. And I've always, throughout my life, been trying to fit in. I kind of consider myself a chameleon in a way, where I can talk to different friend groups or be in different professional settings and I fit right in. But I never fit into myself. I always felt different. I always thought differently. So I wanted to create not only a business, but a community for other people that may be going through these feelings, may think, hey, I don't really think like they do, or I'm not really fitting in, or I'm not living the way that I'm presenting myself to the world. And as people start, waking up each day feeling this and not knowing where to go or what to do, I can offer that to them. And it's solely based on my experiences. I do have a psychology degree, which now, ironically, I am using it in an unconventional way. However, that was really important for me as well. I come at things from a very psychological viewpoint.
Wow, wow. Okay. So you have a psychology degree, and you may know what I typically say. People with a psychology degree usually tell me they get one because they want to understand how their broken brain works. Like that's just...
It has helped me out immensely in my own journey. To be honest, it takes a lot to go into your own psyche. That is possibly the scariest thing one can do, and that's what I've done, and I hope to be able to assist others that may be scared to go inside their own brain and their own mental state.
No, I hear you. So help us understand. So Crown and Crane, and then you can go to crownandcrane.net and you'll be able to find her there, and I'll put the website in there in as well. But Crown and Crane also talks a lot about, like, we're talking about like a crown chakra. We're talking about, different energetic things within oneself. As an adult, you said you never fit into yourself. Talk to us a little bit about why do you feel like you didn't fit into yourself? Was there giftings, or was there things that you just realized you could do other people weren't doing, and then it was kind of labeled in a weird way? Like, why did you not feel like you could fit into yourself?
Well, I think a lot of it was when I was younger, we were taught to kind of live this double life.
Mm-hmm.
So I never truly presented myself as who I am or, was, because it was like one thing happens in your life, but you're showing up to the world in a different way. Or I was programmed and learned certain things when I was a child and into my young adulthood that then I began attracting people and situations in my life that I thought were good for me, but they really weren't. So it's like I was living this dual life almost my whole life until I realized, okay, something's not lining up here. And that was why I had to take the time to look inside myself and start to realize, I've always thought there was something more out there. So why am I not living this? Why am I not pursuing my passions? Why am I always putting myself in situations where I'm trying to lift other people up and, it's not working? My relationships weren't working. Some of my friendships weren't working. My business and professional life wasn't working until I realized, hey, like I have to be comfortable with myself. I projected a lot of things and I truly never was comfortable with myself. So, and also not being able to find people that understood me. I'm misunderstood is basically how I explain it. And if and when I did start opening up to some people in my life about some of my gifts or some of my beliefs, I was automatically the crazy person, or, oh, that's just Lindsey. Like, oh, she thinks all this number stuff, or like listening to high frequencies or balancing your chakras. It's all, you know what I mean? Like I didn't have really anybody in my life that took me seriously. And that's where the setting boundaries and all of that stuff kind of came into play as well.
Right. So, we're talking about this grieving process through the awakening journey. And it feels like the first area of grieving was letting go of everybody labeling you as crazy and then embracing how your beautiful mind works and then kind of going within. Is that kind of like a first step that we take in this process?
Yes. For me, it was ignoring the OPPs, the other people's perceptions, because everybody throughout our lives, we're constantly being told what to do, how to act, how we should be. You should get married at a certain age. You should get a college degree. You should work a 9 to 5. So, I'm not the only one that goes through this, but my inside soul was not working in those types of confines. And yes, once I made that decision that if I'm going to get out of this cave, really, and get my crown, then I'm going to have to do it in solitude. I'm going to have to take this journey, in essence, on my own. But at that point, I had enough faith that my inner light, we talked about this yesterday, was eternal. And after a mental breakdown and psychotic episodes, that light came on. It flipped on in me. Thank goodness. Because if I had not had those severe mental breakdowns, I may never have found my light. So I know why that happened to me. And that pretty much forced me to start on this path, to pick up my pieces and put them together and, get out of that cave.
What did that solitude though? What did that do? And these beginnings of this realization as the light kind of begins to come on, what did that do to your friendships and your relationships though?
Some of my long-term friendships disintegrated. 20-year friendships broken. I don't speak to some of those people anymore. My familial relationships, I don't have so much support from certain family members. And my marriage fell apart. And setting those boundaries and staying true to myself was the hardest and most painful thing I've ever went through in my life. But here comes the other people's perceptions or, opinions. Oh, well, Lindsey, she just thinks she's better than everybody. Or, she's always sharp with the tongue anyways. Or, because I used to say very hurtful things. When I didn't have control of anger, or I was surrounded by anger, I became an angry person. And I did take that out on certain people in my life. And I know that I did. So when you're trying to change and you're doing the inner work, and other people will cast you off regardless. So it's like I started realizing and going through my relationships, like, were they really a friend? Or was this one-sided, kind of like Michelle spoke about earlier? Yeah. And I did find that a lot of my relationships, I was giving a lot of myself to the detriment of my own health, physical and mental.
Yeah. Wow. So, okay, so here is this it's right, like kind of like a chrysalis, right? You're kind of in this cocoon. Mm-hmm. And you're going through this incredible metamorphosis, fortunately and or unfortunately on your own, because there is a lot of work that we need to do, inner work ourselves, before we can really kind of break out, right? And there just is. What did that look like as far as this kind of concept of surrendering to spirit? In the Christian faith, we talk a lot about living a spirit-led. And one of my mantras used to be that I was helping people live a spirit-led, whole and healed, peaceful and prosperous life. So, but that spirit-led, I find now means to me my inner guidance and connectedness to the collective consciousness. What did that look like, that process of connecting to self and to your soul, look like for you?
I spent a lot of time writing and journaling. I've always been an avid writer. I've always kept my writings, and I found that to be very cathartic and therapeutic process for me, because when I put the pen to the paper, it's just what I have in here, that is coming out onto the paper, and I don't have a guard up. I don't have a wall up. I'm being truthful with myself, which is the hardest thing you can do, but I needed to get it out there. And then I needed to read that back to me, to understand the root of some of my issues and things that I needed to heal, especially, blame and shame around relationships with men, and how I never really had a healthy, unconditionally loving relationship with a man ever in my life. And I was married for 7 years and with that person for 12. Wow. So, coming to these realizations and then working through them, I did a lot of meditations, which I always told myself, I'm not a good meditator, I don't, but I found ways that worked for me, which may be a little unconventional, but it got me through the day every single day, especially when the depression would hit, when I'm washing the dishes and thinking, is this my worth? That if the dishes aren't done, then that makes me a bad mom, a bad wife, and I'm equating my self-worth at this point to whether or not the crock pot is washed. So it got extremely frustrating to even wash dishes. Like, this is where I was like completely unseen for a while. So until I started, when I was washing the dishes, putting on meditations, or really thinking I'm washing away this feeling, like I'm literally sitting here washing away the feelings down the drain. Like, that's how I started getting through my daily life. I started integrating spiritual practices, to up my spiritual stamina. That's what I call it. I don't go to the gym, but I work every single day on this spirit workout. I exercise my mind, I exercise my faith, and that's what got me through.
So it sounds to me like this becoming spirit led then was activating your goddess within, right?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
So, I have my own little whatever description of this goddess within, but for you, as you activated her, right, the real you, um, how did the real you begin to kind of guide your existence throughout? I mean, you talked a little bit about that, but what else did you kind of become aware of?
That I was sabotaging myself. You know, I was putting myself in situations where maybe I could be considered the savior, or I wanted so bad to see other people succeed because I was afraid to experience my own success, because at that point I had convinced myself through others as well that I wasn't worthy of the life that I could create. I had convinced myself that I'll be a bartender or waitress for the rest of my life.
Mm,
Uh, but there was that nudging saying, you are here for a purpose.
yeah,
Once I started believing that and went all in on myself.
yeah.
And I've always been business minded. I've created many businesses throughout my life, and this type of business was the business I was meant to create at this time in my life, because I have all the tools to be able to pass on to other people and really make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, um, I feel like as just as I grow, right, but definitely as I'm growing in what I'm doing right now, and having a business that really connects to my soul and to my purpose, I am increasingly aware of the connectiveness with all of us. And I'm increasingly, like I always tell people, like, pay attention to the synchronicities and pay attention to those things. So I know you mentioned that in the past, people were just like, oh, that's crazy Lindsey. She believes in those numbers. And oh boy, she's always like making a wish or doing something at 11:11. So what synchronicities and things like that did you kind of become aware of, and what signs, and maybe what should we be kind of on the lookout during our day when we're connecting like this and awakening?
Well, one major thing for me was feathers. The two feathers I have behind me, I found at different times. I think it was like a week or two apart, but they're almost exactly the same feather. They fit together. And whenever I see feathers, when my attention is drawn to them, I think, what was I thinking about at that moment? So that's a really important practice that I instill, is when I see some of these signs, such as feathers, repeating numbers, what am I thinking about when I see that sign? And then what does that sign mean? Is it a mourning dove feather? Is it a blue jay feather? Is it a cardinal feather? What does this angel number mean? What are the meanings behind the base of the number that you're seeing?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I started recognizing that. And, I've always said one of my lucky numbers is 24. But
Mm-hmm.
lucky, I don't say lucky, but it's just always appeared in my life. I was born on the 24th. And as I start researching these things, then I can attach significant meaning to what otherwise would be an insignificant event or happening. And when you look at something to say, we are all connected, we meet people, no matter for how long they're in your life, they're in there for a reason or for a season. People say that all the time. And at the point when I was at my lowest, these signs and messages never stopped showing up. So despite the fact that this person wasn't calling me, or I lost this job, or my car got stolen, or whatever, these signs never stopped showing up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that sometimes what we can forget, right, is that when as we become like really connected to the entirety of life, right? That we recognize that that we're changing and we're evolving, and the old ways that we operated aren't going to work for us anymore, because we're just becoming so much more knowledgeable about who we are as individuals, and then how we connect to, the earth, the cosmos, whatever. um that actually increases our like intuitive ability. It increases, like, we call it women's intuition. Men have some too, guys, so it's not like you're left out, but you can really begin to navigate and then trust your gut. And I think as women, so often we're just taught how not to, we're taught, don't trust the gut, our emotions are just not important. But that's our superpower. Our emotions are our superpower, and we shouldn't just toss it off to the side. We need to live from that kind of goddess space.
Most definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
That's part, of my program and services, is to be able to help people connect more to their intuition, and also the universal consciousness that we are all integrated.
Yeah.
And I see that now with my daughter, or certain things that I do little tests, like to see if, we can communicate telepathically or communicate in our dreams. And
That's fun.
and I've been testing my own strength of intuition, and things that I envision and things that I really, write down and see happening in my life have been happening and occurring. And these are not little things, this is down to the car that this is kind of a funny story, a little off topic, but I didn't have a car for about 1.5 years. And I kept telling they're like, when are you going to get a car? When are you going to get a car? I said, well, I'm waiting for my Subaru Forester, my dark green, hunter green Subaru Forester. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. And the car that I'm driving now is the exact car I said I was going to get. And it's not even a new one. It's 2001, but this car came into my life because I kept saying it, and I would not stop thinking it. I would not stop envisioning it in my life until it came very randomly. Things like that. Yes, it didn't happen overnight. It did take but things don't happen overnight.
No, they
and
don't.
That's one of the things of surrendering in your faith, because if you have faith, no matter what you're believing in or building towards, you are communicating to the universe to put these things into your life.
Yep. Absolutely. I want to touch on a couple, just another quick thing, and then well, there's a little bit more, but Michelle has another question for us. So this is what I'm going to do though. First, I want to be sure, guys, I just dropped in, yeah, it is. Hey, Lady D, how are you, dear? I just dropped in the chat on all platforms, Lindsey's gift to everybody, her free gift, which is a 7-day journaling challenge. This is exciting. Now, if y'all don't take advantage of this, I don't know what y'all are going to take advantage of. Like, this is exciting. And this really does fit very much into the day's discussions. I'm going to bring up the landing page really quick. And then can you talk to us about this 7-day journaling? And then we're also going to kind of tie that into a few other things, okay? Because you are also doing something quite unique with Crown and Crane, and I really want to talk about that very much so. So, talk to us a little bit about this 7-day journaling journey challenge.
Right to Take Flight, 7-day journaling journey. This is journaling prompts. It's 1 week long. If you can sit and journal 1 day a week, there's some questions that will help guide you. Part of my methodologies that I use in my one-on-one sessions is called the flight method. So FLIGHT, and each letter stands for, some healing processes and things that I would take you through if we were working on our one-on-one. But that's also a foundation of this 7-day journaling journey. So there are some kind of tough questions helping to motivate you and get started. Because like anything in life, like even Michelle was talking about, you have to take that first step. So whether it's you want to go to the gym, start going to the gym every day, this is a tool to help guide you and help you start on a writing journey that can be healing. It can open your mind to so many things, and it's self-guided, and you can get out of it as much as you put into it. And I'm so excited for everybody to be able to have a copy of it.
Oh my gosh. This is just amazing. You guys are gonna see this as a consistent theme. Sister Michelle, I see you in the back. Just give me just one more minute and then we're gonna bring you on up. Okay. So journaling, not only is Lindsey like very much into journaling, but there is one other thing that this is kind of the main crux of Crown and Cream in and of itself. And I want to talk about this deep cover. Now, those of us who are of a certain age will remember the movie Deep Cover with Lawrence Fishburne. I'll never forget it. Like every time I see this name of I think Lawrence Fishburne. Like that's just immediate. Anyway, that's not an issue. It's just it's a good thought. The Deep Cover book club. Do you want, as I'm bringing that up now, the VIPs, when you do sign up for a VIP, and that's soulfulreconnection.net website that you see down here, when you go there and become a VIP and get the VIP ticket, you're going to get 1 month of this, or you're going to be able to get into this workshop, the intro workshop, for free. And that's going to be fabulous in and of itself. You want to tell us a little bit about that, Lindsey?
Sure. So the Deep Cover book club, or the intro to it, or kind of just both. So the Deep Cover book club I created, which will be a membership program, and it'll be about 10 to 13 week sessions, guided book studies, that will also integrate some of my tools and practices along with the book that I choose. And the books in the Deep Cover book club deal with creativity, unlocking your spiritual life, getting dream messages, and kind of like teaching you, if you don't dream, like all of these different topics. So I'm so excited to introduce the first Deep Cover book club, which will be launching mid-November. And you all here, the VIPs, can sign up to get invited to the intro workshop, which I'll be introducing more of the book club. The first book we are studying is called The Artist's Way, a creative path to spirit, a spiritual path to creative recovery. And that was written by Julia Cameron many, many years ago. And the reason I chose this book was because I was part of a book study years and years ago with this particular book. And it changed my life to the point where it was a catalyst for me creating Crown and Crane and being able to create programs and services that can couple with the healing power of books, but then also helping you in an unconventional way unlock your creativity and live from a more spiritual place. So it's kind of a perfect mix because I love reading. I don't know where I would be without reading. And it's really a place to form a community so we can have these discussions. We can open up the floor to higher self, to our connected consciousness. I really do believe that when a group of people come together in a creative way, in a critically thinking way, that we can elevate everybody. And that's really what I want this book club to do.
Absolutely. This is just amazing. So, guys, this is going to be an intro workshop. She's actually created a very specific and unique mini course for your to align your creativity and open your creativity for your sacral chakras. So you want to attend this so you can get that. And then also there's going to be a lot of really cool other things that are going to be done during that workshop, which is October the 21st, right?
October 21st, yes.
Yeah.
The Monday night. So that'll be the intro to the book club a little bit. And also it will be, yes, unblocking your sacral chakra, which is connected to your creativity. Yeah. So it's going to be fun.
That's going to be amazing. So you guys, you'll want to join and get that VIP ticket just so that you'll be able to attend that workshop and receive that additional mini course for absolutely free. That's going to be an amazing time. Are you ready to? And then also don't forget, be on the lookout for the Deep Cover Book Club, because she's going to go through the artist's way in a manner in which you've not seen done before. I've seen other.
Yes,
I'm got her own
so
perception.
excited for that. Honestly, like, come all, join my flock. That's what I would say.
And Steve says the artist way is amazing. I second that. Having a group to support sounds exciting. Yeah, this is going to be amazing. Snehi, I'm glad you're here, honey, because you're going to be taking over in about 2 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay, here we go. I'm going to bring up Michelle Holly again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Lisa. This is my last question. I'm not going to.
It don't have to be your last question, honey. You just be here as long as you need to. Go ahead.
Sister Lindsey, question. I heard you talk about intuition and alternative spiritual practices. Sister Lindsey, do you think women like you and Dr. Lisa who talk like this are creating a pathway for women who call themselves natural witches? Because and Dr. Lisa and Sister Lindsey, hear me out, because it's nothing wrong with being a natural witch. All those women they were just outside of patriarchy, and they saw God in a much larger lens, and they saw nature through a much larger lens. And as I have been listening to Dr. Lisa for a long time, and as she talks and break down things, I say that's what the women of old used to, that's the way they used to talk. That's the way the shaman women used to talk. And Sister Lindsey, when I hear you,
is she?
I'm freezing it. I know that you have to introduce it as under a new way, but do you think that you're creating a pathway for women who are natural witches to come out and say, it's nothing wrong with being a witch? Witchcraft, it's not demonic. Hoodoo and voodoo is not demonic. All these natural practices, they really point back to God, but show a much larger vision of God. That's my question, Sister Lindsey.
Yes, most definitely. I do believe that I am here to resurface the lost teachings and making every woman feel confident and comfortable in our innate powers and our innate gifts. And, we need to restore the balance. And I take that very seriously. I didn't know that this is where I would be right now. But if I can be a voice and a support system for other people that are interested in exploring or discovering or not being afraid anymore, because that's what it is. It's fear tactics, and you don't want to sound crazy, but in your heart and your soul, I believe this totally and fully. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I do believe that that's my purpose here. And it took me a while to accept that, but I'm so glad that I did. And with accepting that was how Dr. Lisa came into my life very quickly, very abruptly. Honestly, I'll blame it on the YouTube algorithm. I wanted to learn more about Terrence Howard. This was just back in May of this year, and I watched a couple of her YouTube episodes, fell in love with her, went to one of her Soulfire Syndicate Mastermind group discussions. From there, had a 30-minute chat with her, and then now I'm in her Light Worker Academy and Accelerated Business, and we've created this relationship, and all the women And yes, then now it's like, okay, people can come out now and they can feel safe.
Yes. Yes.
And I think we don't even have to call ourselves like, I mean, I know people have called me a witch or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. Like I'm hoping that we can kind of destigmatize
Yes.
that title.
Mm-hmm.
And because we were the medicine women, the healers, we were the mothers, we were, you know what I'm saying, of our groups, our tribes, our villages, what have you, in whatever part of the world we were residing. So it wasn't anything to go to whomever down the street that knew how to make, a poultice or a tincture, or, so and so is a healer. So we're going to go on down there, and they're going to be able to, give us what herbs we need to use and whatnot. And honestly, it's really no different than the praying women in the church or what have you. There's a group of women that have lived in every culture, and we possess a lot of eternal internal wisdom and knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's just been, I don't know if you want to say that I mean, I guess we could say that it's patriarchy, but I also feel like it is that institution of religious beliefs. And again, like I said, I think I said this yesterday. I don't remember when I said these things. It's not just Christianity. And I want people think I pick on Christianity just because that's what I know. But there are a number of institutionalized religions that have kept the seeing woman,
Mhm.
the woman that was a natural healer, the woman that had these natural gifts, kept us in a, you know what I'm saying, like, you're horrible, you're
Mhm.
not good. And I mean, the
Mhm.
Salem witch trials were all just simply about the healers, the healing women, and
Mhm.
that's happened in numerous times throughout the throughout human history. So I, sometimes I don't think of myself as that kind of thing. And so I appreciate that you kind of are illuminating that, for Lindsey, for myself, for everyone else, like, because it really is, it is something that we're doing. And I think it's something we take pretty serious. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lisa. I'm going back to the chat.
Well,
Okay. Thank you so much, dear. Thank you. Okay, well, this is day two. It's interesting. Day one was one way, and day two is just coming out, and it's just kind of evolving into its own. And I love this, and I've loved this conversation with you, Lindsey. I totally forgot that you found me because of Terrence Howard. I totally forgot that video was why
I
those
did. I did. Yes, I did.
crazy. Um, awesome. Well, I'm gonna put those. The links are in the chats already. The 7 day, the number 7.7 day, the number 7, the word day .crownandcrane.net for the free gift, and then you'll have to sign up for Soulful Reconnection .net to get that VIP gift. But definitely check her out at crownandcrane.net. Lindsey, is there anything that you want to say to the folks as we are transitioning from your talk today?
Just thanking everybody for being here. Honestly, like this, it has been such an amazing opportunity. I can't even really put it into words. I'm sure it'll come to me a little bit later on tonight when I'm like decompressing and say, like, I made it through, you know? Yeah, I can't really put it into words right now.
This has been very, very special, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Very special. Lindsey, thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the honor of being in your life and being a small part of helping you to realize your dreams and making all of that a reality. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, my dear. We will talk soon. Thank you again, Lindsey. Oh my gosh, Lindsey. Michelle says, "Thank awesome, Lindsey. She did a great job, didn't she, guys? Like absolutely amazing. We've already started off in a fantastic way. My dear Snehi, can you come here? I'm gonna drop the link, my darling. Can you come here backstage? I'm not sure if you all got the opportunity to see her the other day or last week now. We did maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Anyway, we did a podcast together, and where she was talking about energy cords and breaking those energy cords. And I'm hoping while I kind of take a bio break and get a little refresher on a little coffee refresher that she can pop in and maybe help us with some of those energy cords again. Hello, my darling. How are you? Hi. It's so good to see you again. Let me actually, I'm going to put a link to our live that we did. I can't believe it's been that long ago already. It's been a couple of weeks. Here is the link um, to podcast appearance. So I'm gonna put this everywhere so you guys can get that link. But you, the last time we were together and you were on the podcast, you did some wonderful, absolutely fantastic exercises to help us break or release energetic cords. And I'm wondering, would you be willing to help the folks today to do the same thing? Is that something you can help us with today?
Yeah, sure, Miss Dr. Lisa.
Okay, that would be awesome. Why don't you introduce yourself? I'm gonna drop down just so that I can take a quick bio break. And why don't you introduce yourself, and then take folks through the exercise? Okay,
Sure.
just be nice to her. Okay.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Snehi, and I'm a born natural energy healer. So I get to feel, think, hear. So everything that you can imagine of being a part of a clairvoyant. So let's jump on to how to feel the energy and how can you actually cut the cords. By cords, you mean the energy cords that everyone has because we are interacting it every day with a lot of people, and interacting is fun. Interacting is part of life. So it's just how you maintain your energy in the day to day life. So that's what we are going to be doing today. For doing that, let's see how we can feel the energy first so that we can cut the energy cards to actually feel will help you scan, as we say in healing, scan the energy cords that are attached to you and then take it off. So to do that, we sensitize our hands, and by that what I mean is there are chakras in the middle of your palms and the fingertips. So to do that, we do few exercises that lead to that. You can shake your hand. You can just gently press your chakras to activate them. Not everyone is very sensitive to touching it or feeling the energy, so that makes it a little more easy for them. So now let's do it. As so yeah let's first feel the energy. So while we are doing that, how we can do is we can just be relaxed, take apart your hand a little bit, and slow and deep breathing exercise that you we all can do. Breathe in, and while you're breathing, have your attention in the palm of your hands and the space between your hands. And as you can feel, you'll feel something in there and the space growing maybe. And now just start very slowly. Try to put your hands together and apart slowly. You will start feeling the push and the pull, and that's how you can feel the energy. That's the feeling of it. You can try to push it further, and you'll feel you have to push. You have to put some force to do that. That's how it works. Now let's see. So when we talk about cords, energy cords, it's between two people, and the quality or the strength of the cord depends on what relationship you are into. So today what we are going to do is everyday cords, because deep cords need more of attention, like really going deep. But we can keep ourselves clean with those cords that drain your energy every day, and they just gives you a feeling of being stuck. So imagining you, there are two people, so the cords actually are attached to you and the person perpendicularly, and just imagine yourself, and you take your hand up and one down. I mean, if you can see properly, so one hand up and one hand down, and just try to feel any perpendicular energy. The moment you feel, just stop. So that's the energy cords into your energy system. The moment you feel, like I can feel it here and it's really big, we gather them together. Um, yeah, we gather them together. So now it's easy for us to take it off, and we just pull it. We imagine electric violet light in our hand. That's the divine light. So we just do cut, 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 and we release the cords to some holy place from the other side, so that they can feed their energy from a holy place while you are also clean. And we can do this repeatedly unless we really feel that we are done with the cords cutting, and release. So I use my spray to actually clean my hands, because these are sticky energies at times. That's an aura spray. So just got to do that. And you'll feel the relief. You can breathe better. That's how you know that you have cut the cords. And that really helps to keep you clean energy wise. And you got to do this every day, because these cords, you collect them every day, and you will feel the relief overall, better breathing, better sleeping, and you will feel a more like it's um, having more energy throughout the day. So I generally do it more when I'm going to sleep, and that works well for me.
Yes. Oh my God, that's so amazing. Did you guys do that? Because let me tell you something. If I've now noticed, because I started doing it on a daily basis, I notice when I don't do it now. And if Snehi's around me, she'll be like, "You have some very large cords. They need to be cut." I'm like, okay.
Yes,
She reminds me because I don't remember.
it's just about becoming into the habit of doing it, and then once you get the benefits and you start feeling alive more, you you don't forget.
No, you don't. You don't. Snehi, where can we find you on your website is Snehi's Healing Hands, yes?
Yes.
.com.
Yeah.
And then we will be putting up a gift as well for you. Um, there were some things that happened, guys. We are going to do this in another week. It's a long story. Anyway, but we'll put a free gift up for you as well. So when they do register for soulfulreconnection.net, they'll be able to get access to that as well. And are you going to join us a little bit later for the panel? You going to have some time?
Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm so excited. Awesome. Thank you so much. She just popped in for me I just literally on the fly was like, "Hey, I need you." So I appreciate her so much. She's just an amazing, amazing healer. And you guys don't forget to go and when you get a chance after we're done today, go and watch her podcast appearance again when you get a chance.
Thank you, Dr. Lisa.
Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you.
I'm loving all the speakers and everyone actually knowing their stories, and it's making a lot of sense, and I can actually relate to each one of them. That's great.
Isn't that amazing how all of us are so interconnected? We all came from so different backgrounds and whatever, in different parts of the country or parts of the world, even. And it's great to see how we're all interconnected.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you, my dear. Okay, we're gonna let Sahi drop down and go back into the chat. Thank you so much, my dear. And it is time. Oh, it is time for our next speaker. Let me introduce to you. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Um Cheyenne and I have known each other for quite some time. I think it's almost 3 years. She'll be able to tell me. So we have Cheyenne Dalton coming to the stage next. And her talk title is Empowered Motherhood, Energy Healing for Pregnancy and Postpartum Wellness. Cheyenne is a mother of two toddlers in the Pacific Northwest. Cheyenne's journey of self-discovery and profound awakening began during her pregnancy and postpartum experiences. Navigating the challenges and joys of motherhood, she found strength and clarity that reshaped her perception of herself and the world around her. This journey has also been a path of self love and healing, enabling her to nurture not only her children, but herself as well. Embracing the unique rhythms of life in the Pacific Northwest, she continues to heal and grow, using these lessons to guide her as she raises her family while honoring her own needs. I want to welcome to the stage Cheyenne. Hello, dear. We have the screaming teenagers that are welcoming you on the stage.
Hi, everyone.
I'm really loving this. I was not ready for the screaming teenagers yesterday, but today I'm really embracing them. How are you doing, dear? How are you doing?
Good, wonderful. Thank you for having me, Dr. Lisa. I super appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, thank you for coming today and having a chat with us. I love that behind you, the tree of life behind you. That is just beautiful. I absolutely love that.
Thank you.
Cheyenne and it's been is it almost 3 years now, Cheyenne?
July, I think about a year and a half, but it does feel like we've known each other forever. It does.
I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just like, Cheyenne's been around for forever. For a time when she wasn't around. So yes, we've known each other for I guess you're right, about a year and a half, almost 2 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Now, and your journey being a young mother, a young stay-at-home mom, sister, daughter, your journey has really been very inspiring to me, because I was not one, like I tell all stay-at-home moms, I don't know how you do it because I, thank God, was working like outside the home. My mom would be like, I don't know how you raise kids working every day. I'm like, I don't know how you raised us staying at home. Like that is a special calling that I did not get. So I have a tremendous amount of respect and admiration for women who are staying at home and are able to stay at home. Um, and also your journey in general has been inspiring to me. And so I want y'all to, if you could just kind of introduce yourself, and your company is called Raven's Treasures. Why did you name it Raven's Treasures? Tell us a little bit about yourself, Cheyenne.
Okay. So as you announced, I live in the Pacific Northwest. The reasoning why I named my business Raven's Treasures is because, my personal opinion, ravens get a bad rap, but they're messengers, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, that's just bad omens, And for me, like, if you see their personalities and you take care of them, they try to take care of you too. And they're messengers. And so from growing up with, you know, experiences that haven't always been the easiest, and transforming and rewiring myself to heal myself, it's I want to be the raven that gives you the treasure and guidance to help you heal yourself.
That's beautiful. Your specialization, I know when we first met and we were trying to figure out what would be kind of your niche, if you will, but you're really specializing in motherhood, in pregnancy, and then the postpartum journey. Why motherhood? Why postpartum? Why that aspect of life?
Because when I was pregnant with my daughter, there's, like what we have discussed earlier today and yesterday, the genetic transfer of patterns.
Mhm.
Um, the women in my life I've noticed the patterns through the generations.
Mhm.
And, as a child, I was like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this, being pregnant early, or, wanting to find a person that I work well with and not have my children experience separation with their parents. Or, there was a lot of abuse and trauma in the feminine side of my family.
Mhm.
And when I was pregnant with my daughter, that's what started my awakening, where I was really determined to stop the generational patterns and break that chain.
Mhm.
And, those that have experienced it, the life that you carry is so precious. And I knew that my daughter deserved better. And I know that no matter what she goes through, I can only protect her so much from her experiences that she's supposed to learn from. But I knew that if I didn't work and heal myself, that I would not be able to help guide my children.
Yeah.
And so that's what really started that for me, was I had to go through the experience of healing myself. So when my children have their experiences and they need guidance, I have the tools to help guide them.
Right. So being an empowered mother, you're a young mother, and
20.
yeah, you're young, you know. So I want to honor that wisdom in you that brought you to this point here, or has brought you to this point in your very young life, where you recognize that there are patterns, a pathology, as Mother Ayanla would say, a pathology that needed to be broken, and it needed to be interrupted. The pattern needed to be interrupted in your own, before you passed it down to the kids, because too often I don't think we recognize that until either they're grown or they're teenagers or whatever, right? It takes so much healing within ourselves. But I also think that the time period that when we're creating new life, we're carrying this life within, we are at, just in generally, one of the most vulnerable times,
Yes.
while we're pregnant and immediately after. We are in a vulnerable position in our lives, where we really don't necessarily feel very empowered. How how do you think that, or what is your position on how we can begin, especially during, let's start during pregnancy, how can we begin to seek this information out, like what's going on inside of us, heal ourselves and be empowered? Like what are some of the things we should probably start looking at while we're pregnant?
Um, well, one thing that really helped me in my situation when I was pregnant with my first was journaling.
Mm-hmm.
And because journaling and starting to work on shadow work brought more awareness to the surface,
Mm-hmm.
to where I would be able to understand, okay, this is the pattern. Now, what can I do to transform that pattern into a healthy pattern?
Mm.
And I really started getting, because before my children, I was really getting into indigenous teachings.
Mm-hmm.
So I incorporated a lot of, incense, sage, crystals, because aromatherapy personally is very helpful for
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always felt connected to crystals. So I started doing research on the benefits and the vibrations that they carry, to where I could at
Mm.
least have that support with
Yes.
being able to transform for my energy.
Right. Right. I mean, do you think, we've had these conversations before? I feel like when we become pregnant, especially when, if it's our first, right, and we don't really know what to expect, first of all, but so here we're pregnant, and it feels like people, I mean, they're paying attention to us, but they're not really paying attention to us. Like, we're going
Right.
through all of these things, these hormonal changes, these all of these changes, and again, especially, yes, your body, everything's changing. And I don't know, like, I feel like at some point, maybe between in the second trimester, we finally like recognize that we literally have another entire life growing inside of us. And the pressure of being a good mom, of being a good parent, like, can you talk to me a little bit about, I don't know if that's somewhat of what you experienced, but can you talk to me a little bit about how did the pregnancy, like all the changes, how did that affect you in those ways?
Oh man, so many ways. So it took me, like what you were saying, you're usually about at the third trimester when you start showing and feeling those kicks that you're actually processing. I have a baby inside of me, and even I don't want to say denial, but you're like, okay, like I'm pregnant, or acknowledge the fact that you're pregnant, but you're not having those physical signs that you're pregnant yet.
Earlier in the pregnancy. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, you're getting all these emotions and things. For me, honestly, it was a lot of emotions that I had suppressed through my childhood. And they all started rising. And I was super emotionally sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have that because of the hormone changes, And then I'm a bigger girl. And so when I got pregnant with my daughter, it was so hard to be vulnerable and ask for help. I couldn't get in the bathtub without my husband helping me.
Mm-hmm.
I had a hard time laying down because I was high risk too.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like a beluga whale. I felt like a beluga whale that was waddling like a penguin. And I'm sitting here, and it really hurt my self-esteem because I've had trauma with, body imaging and all those
Right.
things. And then to feel so inflamed and puffy and, going through all of these experiences, it made me feel very vulnerable. And I've always had a hard time with vulnerability too. So it really taught me to ask for help. It
Yeah.
really taught me to ask for help. And so many changes,
Yeah.
so many changes. And, it was really hard because it kind of felt like it was all at once.
It kind of is. I mean, if you think about it, my first grandson on the way, and my daughter-in-law, my daughter-in-love, is due for her C-section on October 29th. So I just was saying to her and to my son, I'm like, it feels like just yesterday that you guys announced you were pregnant. And then the day after that, or a few hours later that you said, we're having a boy. It does feel like it happens all at once. You touched on something though that I don't think enough of us really recognize. There's all these, we just chalk it up to hormones, why we're tired, why we're, emotional, why we're, crying at the drop of a hat, why we seem to get angry at the things that didn't make us angry before. But maybe it's not just hormones. Maybe it's signs that there are things that we need to heal. There are different things that are surfacing, and I don't believe that we really get in touch with that at all during our pregnancies. Do you feel the
Yeah,
same way?
I do because, not we all have our own journeys and all of our own experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I realized different traumatic experiences surfaced. And it would either be, an experience that would pop through my head, and I would just get so upset, whether, sadness, anger, whatnot. And then there'd be other times where, the fork drops on the floor and your big old pregnant belly, it's hard for you to pick it up. So you're getting frustrated, but you get so enraged.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, why is it something so simple that, yeah, you'd have some frustration, but to like have steam blowing out of your ears, you know what I mean? So I started realizing that it was a lot of emotions. Even if I couldn't pinpoint where it was coming from, I instinctively knew that it was from past suppressed emotions.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, and Alana, this is a great, Alana brought up a great point that pregnancy is a very spiritual time because literally we are at that moment the portal, the vessel for life. We are
Yes.
this, we are literally a life portal that is engaged at that moment. At for those, I hate to shortchange us. Let's call it a spade a spade. It's 10 months. 40 weeks is 10 months, not 9. So
Yes.
for those
I
10
agree with
months,
you.
which makes sense, right? It's got to be times 10 because it's got to be a cycle that ends. The cycle starts, the cycle ends once, once we've birthed the baby, right? So anyway, we'll leave that alone for right now. But so 10 months, we've got we're literally, we have another consciousness, another completely separate human being with having that's going to be having their own separate human experience, and we are the vessel through which they're coming into the earth. That's powerful, and I have to believe that because of that there's so many other things energetically within us that are opened at the same time.
Yes. I agree with you on that.
Wow. Okay, let's talk about after. So we've been
Yeah.
going through all this time. This we've been going through these 10 months. Now we've given birth. Now that entity that was literally, I guess they say that there's cells and DNA that always will be going through our bodies or something like that for the rest of our lives. But the child is born outside of our womb. Um, and one thing that a lot of us don't really want to talk about is what happens after.
Yes, that is kind of a social taboo. I've noticed too, where it's very on the hush hush, and everyone's like, oh, the pregnancy, oh, the baby's here. Well, and when you're pregnant, everyone wants to take care of you, right? They're
Yeah,
excited for the baby, but they want to take care of you because you're carrying the baby.
right.
Well, then after you have your baby and you're so raw and tired, your body just went through so much, trauma in a sense.
Yeah,
It's physical trauma giving birth,
yeah,
any way you put it.
yeah.
Um, and then, you're uncomfortable and very, very vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone wants to take care of the baby. Well, how are we going to take care of mom? Mom needs to be nurtured so she can take care of her baby because instinctually she knows what baby needs.
Mm-hmm.
She has that communication with her baby. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, let me carry the baby. Oh, let me feed the baby. Can I carry and feed my baby? Can you cook a meal so I can eat? Can you help me do the laundry so I can take care of my baby? And, most of us do breastfeeding. Well, for me personally, my children were cluster feeders. So I was feeding them every 5 minutes. So, like, I didn't get a chance to really, put the baby down and have the baby nap to where I can go get some things done while the baby takes a nap. I didn't
Mhm.
really have that with my children. They were on my hip because they were constantly needing to eat. So it was hard for me to, have my baby with me all the time and then try to be Cheyenne, try to be a functioning person while still recovering in my postpartum.
Mhm.
And
And
that's what gave me the drive to start helping other women because we get so carried away with wanting to take care of our family and our children, and we're the nurturers, the providing of nurturing. Well, as I found out the hard way, you can't pour out of an empty cup.
Mm-mm.
You get so drained, and then not even just drained, but it affects your mentality
Mm-hmm.
and your body and everything else that blends in with that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's what I want to help women with is taking care of themselves and putting themselves first, because you have to take care of yourself to take care of others, your children, your husband, in my case, my father and my brother.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
have to take care of yourself, because that affects so many other things. It's like a domino downward spiral if you don't take care of yourself first.
Absolutely. And we're looked at what's absolutely insane to me is that okay, I'll say it, current westernized civilization, okay? Um Before all of this, it literally was a village. So typically the women, the older women, those of us who were grandmothers or whatever, we ain't having kids no more, we didn't pass it down. The women would be right there. The older women would be right there to help the younger women. Right there to make sure that everything was taken care of, the food was cooked, everything like you stepped in and you helped to make sure, like, that's how it all went, right? And there was people there that could then help and watch children, whatever, so you go to sleep, do what, all that kind of stuff. And at some point, I'm not sure where and when and why, but we lost that.
Yes.
And then there's this expectation put upon us that, well, you're supposed to have a bounce back body, right? That body's supposed to snap back like instantaneously. And, you don't need to, well, okay, whatever. Like, certainly after 2 or 3 weeks, you can get up and do whatever. Why do you really need any help? And then you're right. Everybody comes in. All they care about is they want to see baby. They just want to see baby.
And
And
sorry,
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, from my experience too, it is so, because I've always been the go-getter, right? Like, it's okay, I'll take care of it. Oh, it's okay, I'll take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
I am now having repercussions on not taking care of myself during my postpartums. 2 years later, I got pregnant with my daughter. 4 days after her first birthday, I found out I was pregnant with my son.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was like, done, got done with the formula. Oh, let's have another one. And not taking care of myself with both of my postpartums, I am physically having repercussions with that now.
Mm-hmm.
So that is also why I thrive for mamas to take care of themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And to be in tune with yourself, and don't feel guilty for saying, listen, I'm struggling. I need help. And you're right. You don't even want to ask for help while you're pregnant half the time. Then you finally get to that point. Now we've had the baby, and we still don't want to ask for, or we feel like somehow we're going to be looked upon in a negative way for asking for help.
Yes.
And nothing could be further from the truth. If you've got a good support system around, nothing could be further from the truth. Right? So we need to normalize that it's okay for us to be vulnerable.
Yes.
That's why. So, I mean, guys, I very much, from the first day that Cheyenne and I spoke and we decided to start to work together, I really, really, really have had a spot, a special place for her and Raven's Treasures, because I know that no matter where you're at socioeconomically with, as far as a mother, a lot of us go through the same thing. And a lot of us are just too ashamed, or we just don't even really have anywhere to turn and don't understand how to deal with all of this. So this is really, really important. Now, Cheyenne has been hard at work, and we've launched a few of her journals. But Cheyenne, I'm going to I'm going to actually drop the free link right now, and then I want us to go through that a little bit with everyone, showing everyone what you have, because this is a great look look into the journals that are on your Shopify store, and the rest of them will be up soon for sale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this. Can I not? Okay, here we go. It's my first time. I'm just kidding. We're gonna share this page, and I'm gonna drop the link here. Tell us a little bit about a mom's new journey, postpartum self-love journal. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so A Mom's New Journey, the postpartum journal, it's to help put you first. So there's going to be some little prompts, there's going to be some affirmations that you can give yourself to help empower yourself while you're on that journey. There's different different guides. There's also, in the postpartum part, there's also spiritual tips with smells, fragrances, and crystals that'll help you empower yourself while going through that journey. There's little guided meditation tips. So if you're having a hard time with meditation or grounding yourself, there's tips and meditations in that for you. It's to help put yourself first. One of my favorites, honestly, is the self-care, because it helps you become more aware of being able to how to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Because from my personal experience, I wasn't very raised in the routine, wake up, brush your hair, brush your teeth, those things. So plus having it there, if you're still dealing with that mama fog brain, you have something to rely on to help get you through your day.
Yeah. Guys, this is an incredible journal. Now you can print these off as well. And she's got wonderful mindfulness practices and guides and grounding meditation tips. Some of these earlier pages that I was showing you, you can like print more than one of these off. So it's a PDF. You can download it. If you have a printer at home, you can print it. You can take it to you could take it to an Office Depot or Office Max. I forget what they call it these days. And you can print them off there. It's just a really wonderful opportunity. And so you can have more than 1 week there. That's a postpartum. She also has, let me see if I can bring your Shopify store up. Bear with me 1 second. We're going to bring her Shopify store up, because also what we've got going on here are fillable PDF journals. And we're going to launch this soon, but I want you guys to be able to see this as well. And we'll put the Shopify link, or if you look up Raven's Treasures, you should be able to find it. But we're going to take a look at the Shopify store, because what she's got going on here right now, we have months 4 through 6 in a digital journal fashion, and we're about to put up the physical journal, because each of these journals, guys, is like 80 some pages. So it's going to take you day by day through your entire month. Okay. And so you're literally going to go through the entire month doing a lot of the same exercises, but this is going to take you way deeper throughout the month. And right now, these are fillable, so you can actually take these and then journal on your phone, which is amazeballs. I think that's crazy. So, guys, like you ladies, like for the ladies in your lives and whatnot, we're gonna go to Raven's Treasures, and I will drop that link in the chat as well. Now, I'm not saying that we're done here because we're not, but I wanted to be sure that I got that over to y'all as well. And on the VIP level, we have a beautiful meditation that Cheyenne did create as well for you guys. So um, we'll have that VIP. So if you go to soulfulreconnection.net and sign up for the VIP option, the VIP ticket, you'll be able to get that wonderful meditation as well. Cheyenne, let's talk a little bit more. Let me stop. Do you want to say anything else about the journals, about like this journey in creating the journals before I move on? Because this has been a labor of love. You've put a lot of work into it.
Well, and I appreciate your guidance too and your guys' help as well. But for me, it's really, I'm so excited for this journal to be public. That way, women can have more guidance and empowerment. And they don't have to look externally, they can look internally. And that is so important. So important.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You mentioned before that journaling was something that helped you a lot throughout your journey. What do you think, what is journaling? How did journaling, do you think, helped you get through this, with the pregnancy and then postpartum afterwards?
Journaling helped me in the sense of, first of all, if I was on my rampage, nobody would have to hear it. I could do it all by myself, but still be able to blow off that steam without having repercussions or hurting anyone's feelings because I'm going a little haywire.
Mm-hmm.
But it also helped me with self-reflection.
Mm.
And I think that's empowering within itself. And journaling's just helped me so much because, even the subconscious writing where, you just listen to your inner self and you write it down and, you're not paying too much mind to it. You're just writing it down and then going over it. You're like, oh, there's a message in here,
Mm-hmm.
or, another pattern to become aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And when I would isolate myself because of my emotion and having a hard time with my vulnerability, it helped me grow.
Mm-hmm.
And also, journaling while I was pregnant helped me go back and be able to save that journal too, to where, when my daughter goes through those experiences, she can read my book or my journals on what I went through when I was pregnant with her, to where also, she could hear about her journey before she even came into this world,
Mm-hmm.
but also to where she can go over it and realize, hey, mom had a hard time with this. I'm having a hard time with this. Like, I'm not alone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very much so. Also meditation and like you've been studying Reiki and some other healing modalities. When it comes to this kind of energy healing, this meditation and other energy healing, how do you think that is going to be able to help pregnant mama, postpartum mama? How do you think that that's going to play a role for them?
So energy healing, for pregnancy, I think energy healing would help mom have some grounding
Mm-hmm.
Also help. I'm trying to think of the word for it. Help her in her journey as well.
Yeah.
And with your postpartum, I'm drawing a blank. I'm so sorry.
I feel like, no, you're fine. I think, to me, energy healing, first of all, while you're pregnant, I just thought about this just now. It's like, oh, we've got two sets of chakras going on. Like we've got one energy body mama and one energy body baby, you know? And so you staying aligned, grounded, calm, as stress-free as possible is going to help that child be born calm, that's not so stressed out, right? Because you're literally, it's not just what you take into your body through eating and drinking. It is literally the energy you're infusing right into that the baby. And then after, once we've had this like rather jolting, I will say violent separation, right? Because it's childbirth is beautiful. I'm not trying to scare any first time mamas out there, but it's just it's it's a process.
Yeah.
So, so here, we've been together for 10 months and now we're not. Now you're outside of me, and there can be almost like this like weird disconnection, but yet very close connection, yet it's all jumps up. So I would think that, to me, it's going to help regulate those after effect emotions, right?
Right. Well, and like we've talked about before too, is those generational energies as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely get cleansing that out. um so he says energy healing when pregnant helps with providing an opportunity to break the pattern right there. Yes, that's exactly
Yeah.
what you were talking about. Yeah, doing the shadow work can be a tool. Yeah, definitely, it's huge. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool. Well, Cheyenne, this has been absolutely magnificent and amazing. I
Yes, I've enjoyed it.
I'm so proud of where you've come, and I'm so excited that we are finally like bringing this into fruition. We're finally birthing the baby.
Yes.
This baby's been cooking for a long time.
Yes, it has. I, I'm so excited to be here and be able to share this experience with not only you, but our community.
Yeah, yeah. This is amazing. Guys, I put her Shopify site in all the chats. And we'll be adding more to it and growing that as we go along. And also, you'll be able to download um, the free journal there. So I really, if you've just had baby, if you're about to have baby, like this is, and you want to start this journaling process and just see and experience a little bit of Cheyenne's methodology and just her energy and how she's here to help you as one mommy to another. Please do take part in that. I'm going to make sure that my daughter-in-law has this. um just so you know, Megan, it's be downloading it. Anyway, so I'm just super thrilled, and we're gonna continue to put up those months. Cheyenne, is there something you want to leave with the folks today, as we transition to the next speaker?
I just want to say that we have so much more meaning to us than what we realize. And we have so much more potential within us than what we give ourselves awareness to.
Yes. Thank you. And
Thank
thank
you,
you for
Tom.
being vulnerable and open. We appreciate it so much. Thank you. All right, we are going to let Cheyenne go backstage, and if you can still hang out, we'll be doing the panel a little bit in just a short minute. So we'll see Cheyenne back again in just a few. Thank you so much, dear. Thank you. All right, guys. So it is time. I can't believe it's already time for our last interview of the summit, and then we'll have our panel discussion. So you guys, last but definitely not least, my friend Alanna Hay Thomas. She is an amazing woman. You guys are going to love this. She's a self-awareness facilitator, and her talk today is going to be about authentic living through self-awareness. Alanna has been a clinical social worker for over 14 years, helping people with their mental health and personal development challenges. In the realm of mental health and social work, a main component of treatment is for services to be person centered. Her goal is to empower and equip individuals so well that they can continue to thrive on their own with or without her by their side. She is a big fan of self discovery and signing one's own permission slips in life. She even wrote a book about it. This passion for personal growth is why she has always been drawn to self improvement as a child. Let's welcome to the virtual stage Alanna Hay Thomas. And the teenagers are going wild. Hello, Alana. How are you, dear?
I am well. How are you?
I am doing quite well. Thank you very much. With teenagers. Okay, all right. They're very well behaved. They're very well behaved.
They
It's
are.
so good to see you.
To see you as well. It's been oh my gosh, it's been a fabulous 2 days just hearing everyone's talks and just seeing what everyone is up to. Some really good work.
Oh my gosh. It hasn't been like every time I do this, like I know everyone's gonna be great and I know it's gonna be fabulous. But it's always goes so much further beyond, and I learn new things about you all. And even though we work together so closely, I learn new things. And just the blessing that is just bestowed upon everybody. So I'm honored to be a small part of this journey with you guys. Now, Alana,
Mhm.
you being a clinical social worker for quite some time now, I imagine that this concept of self awareness is not one that is foreign to you and what you try to help your clients with on a day to day basis. Talk to us a little bit about you are the facilitator and founder of Embodied Clarity. So help us understand a little bit about Embodied Clarity. And then on the piggyback of that, I have a feeling that was born out of the social work realm. So talk to us about how that all kind of happened and how it might be intertwined.
Oh, absolutely. I can take it. I can even take all of that. So I've loved personal development since I was a child. Like I was just one of those weird ones that would read self-help books and just I thought that kind of stuff was fascinating. So I was like, hey, life is about growth and how can you move beyond and just how can you level up? I love that. So that naturally segued into studying psychology and then social work and just kind of being in this space. And then what's been interesting about working in social work is noticing certain themes because I've been a therapist on and off, worked in different levels of the mental health system, worked outside of the mental health system. But there's just these key components that I see with individuals. And don't get me wrong, professional help is amazing and it's important at times when we definitely need it. But there are also so many elements where I'm like, wow, there are things that if folks had this for themselves, you could take your own journey and run. And you don't necessarily always need to have the professionals do it for you. So that's just something that's really driven me behind embodied clarity. So embodied clarity and then self-awareness. So self-awareness is a cornerstone. Your movement forward comes from what you recognize about yourself and your journey, because you're only ever going to be motivated to do that which makes sense to you. I can tell you all day, oh, this is the answer, and this is going to give you this, and this. If you are not in touch with that, I mean anything. And so there's a concept. Oh no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening to you. I'm just laughing.
So there's this concept within doing therapy where you meet a client, or even social work services in general. You meet a client where they're at. And that's literally what self-awareness is about. I can meet you with what's important to you at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, embodied clarity is about enhancing your own self-awareness so you can move your journey forward. So certain parts of your journey don't necessarily have to stall out prematurely because you're unable to see kind of what's going on with you, which then also ties into beautifully into just all the work that all the women have been doing and have been speaking about this weekend. Everyone speaks to recognizing patterns and using various skills and tools in order to take those patterns to leverage themselves and move forward in life. It's beautiful.
That was another wonderful thing, guys. Don't get me wrong. I didn't even have everybody's talk title when I arranged the order. I did not even know what everybody was talking about. I just was like, okay.
That flow was beautiful. It felt very intentional. Like the way everything has come together. Yeah.
It was universally intentional because I was like, okay, I think this will work. So you talked about how in your professional day-to-day world, over the time period here, you identified certain things that, hey, if people would just had this skill on their own, they'd be so much further. Either they may or may not need professional services. What are some of the cornerstones to being self-aware? What does that even really mean?
So it's this ability to be in touch with your own thoughts, be in touch with your own emotions. And the irony is a big part of it is being in touch with what's going on with other people. Because a lot of times we can lose perspective on what's going on with ourselves, because especially in our society and how things are culturally, and let's be honest, in the way that children are often raised, it's often about being told what to do, how to do it, when you need to do it. We see it in our school systems, we see it in our work structures. So for someone to step back and be in touch with themselves enough to say, hey, I'm feeling a way that's not acceptable to others. I'm thinking thoughts that other people have told me are inappropriate. It's that ability to differentiate and recognize who you are as an individual in the midst of everything else going on.
Wow. And as we become, that's interesting. I've never heard any debate. We talk a lot about self-awareness, but self-awareness and also being able to see outside yourself and tapping into what's kind of, we say this to the grandkids a lot, right? Like, dude, you are not reading the room. Especially the youngest grandbaby. Well, no, both of them in their own little ways, right? The oldest granddaughter, Rayleigh, the Gemini, will just say, she'll just blurt it out, and we'll be like, did you not like read the room? That wasn't the right time. And the youngest will just like say whatever in her Leo life feels like needs to be said. And, she'll just tell it like it is and want everything, whatever. But this ability to read the room, this ability to read other people, why do you feel like, why is that so important in the self-aware realm? Like if I'm becoming more self-aware, being able to read other people, what is that? Well, why is it so critical, do you think, in the process?
Because we can't offer other people what we don't have for ourselves.
Yeah.
So if I cannot honor the fact that, say, I feel angry and what that experience feels like for me and how that experience motivates me to function in the world, how am I supposed to recognize that in someone else? And so this lack of recognition within ourselves and others has us moving through the world saying, okay, well, these are just the rules. I do X, I do Y, I do Z, and these things happen. But where we get these slip ups are when you're interacting with a real person, an individual, it doesn't work like that. You know, so if you're
Mhm.
not in your authenticity about what's going on, you get really, really confused when the world responds in a way that doesn't fit your rules. And it's this ability to exist in the whole. Because I think that's where the dance is with self-awareness. Because a lot of times you can hear it and think, oh, you're just kind of self-obsessed. Just, you know, the sort of navel gazing. You're just staring at yourself. You're only ever worried about yourself. You're not thinking about anybody else. But no, it's a dance. How do I exist in this space? And then also what you mentioned about your grandbaby. So one skill, yes, is very much reading the room. And then sometimes blurting out what needs to be said is what happens. But what you want to do is be able to do it intentionally. No, like I'm reading this will make people uncomfortable, but this needs to be said right now.
And knowing that when I say that, this is going to be the reaction that I'm going to get, so I might want to prepare myself. So really,
Exactly.
we'll work on that when I'm back there for the birth of Junior. So really being self-aware then becomes being so in touch with who you are. To me, what it sounds like is being so in touch with who you are that then you want to be the best version of that, right? Like you want to recognize that you are important, but you're not the only one on the planet.
Exactly. It's this irony of when we take care of ourselves, when we're aware of our own space, we become more loving and considerate and caring of others. It's the funniest thing because I'll have these conversations with clients, even about something like setting boundaries for themselves or taking care of themselves. It's like, oh no, I can't be that way because then it's selfish and I'm not giving to others. But I'm like, no, the irony is that when your cup is full, you want nothing but to give. Your heart of hearts is to give to others and live that way. And imagine what you can do when you are clear in that. Because think about it. If I exist in a state of shame, insecurity about myself, how can I extend grace and compassion to someone else to allow them to be who they're going to be and go through what they're going through? I mean, I can kind of cobble some stuff together and I can try, but imagine the depth of it when I'm like, I know what it is to fully accept myself and I want to extend that acceptance to you.
So I'm laughing because I'm listening to this right now and I'm thinking this is the process that I had to go through in order to repair a relationship with my mother. Because it wasn't until, and my aunt Charlene, God rest her soul, she's the one that taught me this like accountability, right? Self-awareness is kind of a level of accountability, I think, and hearing how you're explaining it. And so it wasn't until she was like, you need to be accountable for you. Like only you can make you happy. Only you're responsible for your happiness. Nobody else is. And the reason why that was so important was because I was looking to my mother to be a certain type of mother to me that I felt that I needed. And granted, yes, deserved, needed, whatever the case may be. But she was completely incapable of being that person because of what she went through as a child, as a teenager, as a wife, as a mother. And once I released her once I kind of got, okay, well, who am I within me and was and kind of got over whatever hurts or got past whatever hurts, healed the hurts, I was able to release her from having to be somebody that she could never be for me. And
That's
our
powerful.
relationship, it is, and our relationship got immensely better. Now, I don't know. I suppose if mom sees this, then she can tell me if she thinks our relationship got better. I think it did, but I had to release her to be her. And then it actually helped us to connect on a whole new level because now I'm not looking for her to be something that she can't be.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
So you do this on a day-to-day basis, somewhat. Why did you choose to start doing this outside of the clinical work?
Because of I want the freedom and the flexibility to offer it to everyone. Whether or not you decide, oh, hey, I'm going to sign up for formal services. Oh, hey, I'm going to use my insurance to do X, Y, and Z. Because I don't think it needs to be gate kept like that. Like, let's learn. We can learn these skills now. We can expand our lives now. And mental health is huge right now. And people need a lot of support. And I can absolutely appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's just limited to professional support. I think there's so much that can be done outside of it. And furthermore, let's be super duper honest. Best case scenario, I see you once a week for 45 minutes to an hour. How much more time is in that week that it's you living your life? You've got to have skills and abilities, tools to do this thing on your own. Because at the end of the day, I'm going home to deal with my stuff. You have to go home to live with your life. And I want folks to be able to level that up for the life that they have to live. So it's similar to what you had said in my bios. There's also this other concept that I learned when I was being taught to be a social worker, but this perspective of working yourself out of a job, not working to make people increasingly dependent on what you have, but working to empower people to have their own strengths so that they can decide, hey, sure, I want a partner through this process. They can have a partner as long as you want a partner. But when you're ready to step off on your next level and do it your own, you can, because I've given you something. I haven't made you just needy for me.
Dependent. Yeah, absolutely.
Dependent. Yes, that's the word.
No. The same thing. It's the same thing. What I love about it when I get to work with professionals that want to go outside of the clinical realm or outside of the professional realm is that you all can take the essence of what really that profession is meant to do and then bring it to people on a wider, broader scale. I feel like everything that you're talking about, equipping people to be self-sustained, be their best self, be aware of, this is what ticks me off, and I understand that. And now let me figure out, why does that particular thing, why does not filling up the ice trays tick me off all the time? Like, what is that all about? Like, why do we get triggered? And understanding that at a very core level, also then, and knowing yourself at that core level then helps you move through the world with so much more ease. I know when I need time to myself and to please leave me alone.
Yep.
And I'm aware of when my irritation level, and it really usually doesn't have anything to do with anybody else. It's me. I've done something, right? So being aware of that just helps me on a day-to-day basis. Snehi says that is true empowerment. Yes. That you're not dependent upon a provider to do something for you. I love that. I absolutely love that. Before time gets away, I do want to go on, and I'm going to drop this link for folks for your I love it, for your free gift, which is, let me just kind of drop this link everywhere, which is a self-awareness quiz. I love a good quiz, gang. I love a good quiz. So I'm going to bring this up. Can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind this and what we can expect from this?
Yes. Okay. So I've offered this because I just felt like it's a fun place to start in terms of figuring out sort of your own place of being self-aware, because it's a little bit of a buzzword. You hear it everywhere, and we all have different reference points, different perspectives on where we're at. So it's an opportunity to start self-reflecting on, wait, I thought I was doing a great job. I know myself. I know who I am. I know what I want. And it gives you a few more questions so you can think a little more deeply and say, oh, wait, there may be some opportunities for growth here. Awesome. Which then can lead you into that conversation with yourself of, okay, where can I be more honest? And if I'm struggling with honesty with myself in these areas, What's the block? Because it gets to what many of the other speakers have gotten to, patterns. We operate in patterns. So let's start bringing to the surface these things that we're doing repeatedly.
Yeah.
So we can open up and move to the next level like that.
Yeah.
But if we keep repeating this, what Einstein, I believe it was Einstein, I think. If you continue to do the same thing, expecting a different result, that is the definition of insanity. I butchered it and I like probably turned it all around. But that's what that is.
You got it. You got it. You got it. That is truly the definition of insanity. Now, that after you take that quiz, guys, you know, and I want you again, go to https soulfulreconnection.net, because the VIP gift, not only are you going to be helping the Hurricane Helene victims and the relief effort, but guys, let me show you what else she has for you. This is absolutely amazeballs. Self-awareness as a tool for authentic progress. She is hosting a virtual workshop on November the 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern. What are we going to experience during this workshop?
We are going to get it started. Okay, so this leads in directly from the quiz. From the quiz, you got started, you know, starting to think about some things, starting to consider, okay. But in this workshop, we're going to dive more deeply into these different areas of self-awareness so that we can begin to see, okay, what's going on for me as an individual? Where are my blind spots? And what can I begin to do to start to expose those for myself? Look at them so I can make new choices, because I can't make new choices about something I'm not seeing. That's what it comes down to. And all of this comes from a place of grace, and it comes from a place of love. This is in no way about being bad or wrong or shameful. It's just, let's just look at what we've got in front of us. Because when we look at what we've got in front of us, we can make an intentional decision forward. It's similar to like our GPSs. It tells us how to get somewhere based on where we are. But if I'm pretending that I'm somewhere else, it's going to tell me things that don't make sense. It's going to tell me to get on roads I can't see and I can't find them and I don't understand. And then I'm frustrated because I'm like, I'm just trying to get over there, but I'm not getting any accurate directions.
No, so, pretending to be somewhere else. Like, that me out. Oh my gosh, amazing. This is, guys, you have got to go and sign up for VIP so that you can be a part of this virtual workshop on November the 2nd. This is going to be amazing. Guys, this is going to be absolutely amazing. We have a little time here. I'm not sure if anyone has any questions. I'm going to continue to ask a few more questions about this self-awareness and embodied clarity. Oh, I do need to put, you know what? I need to put your website down in here too as well, so that you all can reach out to Alanna at embodiedclarity.com. Talk to us a little bit more about embodied clarity as a resource. What else are we? You like that one? What else are we gonna should we expect to see from embodied clarity as a resource in the near future?
Yes. So coming down the pike, there will be a journaling jumpstart course, which I'm super excited about, because if you've been watching the other folks, everyone mentions journaling because it is hands down a phenomenal tool for working through issues. There's nothing else to say about it. You would be amazed at the amount of times that it comes up clinically as a tool. You would think, oh, it's just so simple, it's so basic. It's powerful. And sometimes it's just the simple stuff that we've got to start putting into practice on a consistent basis that's going to help us move forward. And so my particular goal with this course is to take it back to the basics of how to journal. Because there's this fun thing we do in the world where we will use the same words and mean different things. So even when I have a client come in my office and tell me, oh, I journal or I tried journaling, I always ask what that means, because people do it different ways. It means different things. And when folks have struggles with it, it's often the way that they think that they have to do it. So the purpose of my course is to give folks a solid understanding of the basics so that you can take it and use it in a way that's going to work for you. And then from there, you can fly. Then you're going into specific programs where you're working on specific issues in your life. You're finding other folks that are like, all right, yes, I have that going on. I want to work with them. And when they say, hey, take out your journal, you're like, boom, you're not overwhelmed. You know exactly what to do. You're like, okay, I can plug this in. I can make this work. I can follow the prompt. I can do my work. That's what it's about, is offering that skill set. And then from there, I will continue to add additional courses and resources around other basic, I say basic, but I'll say patterns of struggles that I have seen that I believe would really, really help folks move forward in their lives. A lot of the commonalities I see in struggles with clients, with things that you can enact in your life without necessarily having to process it with a professional. It's something you can decide to do for yourself. So.
That's wonderful. That's just going to be, in general, just an extremely, hugely valuable resource for people to work through this and kind of be able to work through it on their own. I think I'm excited about the fact that it's going to be like from your privacy of your own home. I'm sure that eventually, we'll start doing some other, group and things like that. But just to have the ability to kind of like, oh, I get to do this on my own terms, in my own way, and but have this kind of virtual guide for me. I think that's going to be just amazing for people to be able to have that resource. Thank you so much, Alanna. This has been so exciting. Yay! Guys, but all those links are in the chat. Don't forget soulfulreconnection.net, especially if you want to go on and sign up too for that. If you want to get all of these free offers in one email sent to you, and then again, you can do the VIP ticket. Before we kind of transition into our panel for the end of the summit, is there anything you'd like to say to folks, leave them with today, Alanna?
Keep moving forward. Whatever you do, life is going to be a journey. You're not going to get it all at any one time, but as long as you're putting one foot in front of the other and saying, hey, I'm going to try to be 1% better or different the next day, that's what matters. You don't have to be perfect at any of this. You just got to keep moving. So
I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm going to drop you down for just a second, just in case you need a bio break. And then everybody's going to come back up when you're ready. Okay, dear. Thank you again. I appreciate you. All right, guys. So, oh my gosh, I can't believe we are in the last bit here. We're in the last little while here for our event. I'm so excited. Snehi, I'm gonna drop the link for you in case you don't have it, for you to join us for the panel discussion. So here is the panel discussion link, Snehi, if you're still here and you want to join the panel. And anybody that's backstage, if you want to join the panel, please let me know by turning on your camera. This was so wonderful, wasn't it, Michelle? Just absolutely wonderful. Listen, I don't want you guys to forget, go to soulfulreconnection.net, soulfulreconnection.net to sign up for the email to get the free resources, and then you can also sign up for the VIP. I'm going to actually, guys, give me just 1 minute. I actually, I know that's crazy, but I actually need a little bit of a bio break here. And I'm trying to figure out what video I'm going to show in between that time. Let me see here. What video do I want to show you guys in between? I'm going to actually show you guys a really quick video I did a little while. I do this thing every Friday across most of the platforms. And this one is, I call them Ask Me Anythings. And I'm looking for like the Ask Me Anything here. I only have one here. God dang it, son of a biscuit. Um, I'm going to put this out here though. I'm going to play it for you guys. This is an Ask Me Anything. Oh, I can go to my TikTok. Hold on. They're usually a few minutes. They're not long. They're not long. I just need a second. Let me go here to my profile. I just dropped on Friday and asked me anything that's about why am I not reaching my goals? That's kind of a deep one. Why am I not reaching my goals? So, how about I play this Ask Me Anything for you guys? That'll give me a hot to get my life in order. And then we will be right back. So hang on one second. I'm gonna share this with y'all. And again, if anybody else that's backstage, if you want to join the panel, I'm gonna need you. Also, Rebel, I saw you in the chat earlier. If you want to join the panel, that link you can use that as well. But here we go. Bloop bloop bloop. Share this, and I'm gonna mute myself. Hey there, everybody. So, hi, it's Dr. Lisa again, and with another Ask Me Anything question. And this is a question I have gotten quite a bit over the years, and I want to address it today. And the question for the day is, why am I not reaching my goals? You could probably frame it as, why is the manifestation not working? Or why aren't my dreams coming true? Or why aren't my prayers getting answered? But the basis of it, right, is basically, why are things not falling into place the way that I intended for them to? And I think there's a few core reasons. So I'll try to address them right away. The first reason I would say is because you're not yet seeing yourself as someone that can attain that dream, that goal, that live the life that you desire to live. That there's a lot to unpack there, but I'm just going to say on the basics, like at the basic level, it is really that you've been programmed, you, me, everybody else has been programmed to believe a certain way about ourselves, whether it's because of, race, gender, religious belief, creed. There's a whole bunch of other things, age, that you are in this status where society has told us that you might not be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve, or that you might not be able to like break that ceiling, or that there is even a ceiling, kind of like the whole scene in the Matrix where there is no spoon. That whole thing we've got to really think about. So if you don't have an inner core belief that you deserve or you can attain, if you don't identify with what it is, that which it is that you wish to achieve, you're going to find it very difficult to achieve that goal. You're going to find it very difficult to realize that dream. Well, how can one change that? It literally is bit by bit, layer by layer, taking this apart and deconstructing your identity, deconstructing how you feel about who you are, what you can achieve, what you cannot achieve. That's step by step. So I'd go with that first belief. So if it's, I don't believe that I could be a successful entrepreneur. Okay, well, why? Well, no one in my family, maybe no one in your family has been a successful entrepreneur. Well, I need you to look at that and then say, does this really apply to me, or does that really apply to everybody else? And if it applies to everybody else, but not me, I can choose for it no longer to apply to me. You can release that thought, you can release that belief system, you can release all of that and not keep it onto yourself. That's one of the first things you can do. And you take it bit by bit. You take each bit, each layer, each belief, and you then peel back that layer of the onion, peel back that next one, peel back that next one, And then what happens at the very end, you get to the core of why you believe the way you believe. And hopefully by that time you get to that core, you already begun to see little things happen all along the way that make it possible for parts of those goals, steps within those goals, steps towards realizing your dreams, that they start to fall into place. So that would be my thing. We might touch on this again next week, but start with your basic beliefs, like, and say, okay, this is what it is. I don't believe that I can attain whatever. And then ask yourself a very simple question: why? And you'll be surprised what happens when you ask yourself why, what pops up. And then I need you to release those things that don't serve you and that don't really apply to you. That's this week's question. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, go to my link tree, a link in the bio or a link somewhere. I do have some opportunities to schedule a call with me to talk through your entrepreneurial desires. I have ways to book different readings and things like that with me. So if that is something you're interested, please feel free to do that. Muted, I'm muted. There's no sound. Okay, you guys can check out any of that stuff. Hey, we recovered. All right. I'm gonna bring up the panel, okay, guys. So we're gonna bring Alanna back to the stage. We're gonna bring Lindsey back to the stage. We're gonna bring Cheyenne back to the stage and Snehi back to the stage. Hello, everyone. Panel discussion time. Love this. Love this. Love this. Love this. Okay. Let's talk about what empowerment is to each and every one of us. Okay, that's going to be the discussion. And if you all have any questions in the chat, you can, any of the chats, you guys can drop them. I'll be looking at them as we go forward. So, where am I going to start? I'll start with Alanna. Alanna, what does empowerment mean to you?
Empowerment to me means the ability to move forward in the world in the way that you want to know that you have the tools and the resources to move forward.
I love that. Perfect. Lindsey.
Empowerment is your own strength, your own inner strength, and living each day in that strength and being confident every single day in the decisions that you're making, that you are making them for yourself and ultimately for a better life. And like Alanna was talking about, leveling up. Like every decision that you make, you should feel confident that this is for a greater goal of mine.
I love that. And Gemini clearly has some ideas about empowerment today. Miss Snehi, what does empowerment mean to you, my dear?
So there was a car passing by, so I unmute. Okay, so it was wonderful listening each one of you, and for empowerment for me. And it's interesting how I have been past few days and this week. I've always been thinking about what is it that holding me back, and what I came up was the resistances that we actually address or do not address. At every single point we are experiencing resistance, and then I was kind of prompting myself and getting into that, I need an answer. And I came to the conclusion that really what empowerment means to me is having the knowledge, because that's where I rest, I peace with myself, and I can move forward. So I really like how, Alanna, you mentioned journaling, how to do it. So it's different for everyone. And each one of you had the journey where you discovered yourself. So that's the understanding it brings to you with knowledge. So those were the your identifiers of your resistances that you had. So it's really empowerment to me is the power of knowledge to keep moving. So and that makes it easy. So as you said, life is a journey, and I would want to add to that it ends with your life.
Yeah.
So just keep moving and keep learning, and you will keep encountering the resistances. Just pause, have an understanding of why did it show up, and then take another journey.
Yes. Yes. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Thank you so much. Cheyenne, what is empowerment to you? You're muted, sweetheart.
Sorry. Empowerment to me is awareness, really, because once you gain the awareness and guidance and tools, that is empowerment to keep moving on, to keep growing throughout your journey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely. I can agree with that. So one of the reasons why I love doing these things, and one of the outcomes I had really intended for this 2 day summit was for all of us to come together um, in a greater and kind of um, empower ourselves, right? But then empower others, because to me, empowerment really is this embodiment of our own power when we really truly internalize it and have this internal understanding and not just kind of a logical understanding of empowerment. What I'd love for each of us to do is kind of give a I'm trying to find the right words to for the next question. I want us to talk to just share an area in our lives where we grew up feeling disempowered, but now we have recognized that we do have that power, that we are empowered within it. So, whether that be finding your voice in certain areas or with certain relationships, or just being able to go on and start this entrepreneurial journey, begin to have those successes there. What is one area do you think in your life that you felt disempowered and now you feel a greater sense of empowerment? And I'm going to go back this way. So Cheyenne, what do you, oh, her eyes got huge. Like, do not do this. Do not call on me first. Not me first.
You got me. So being honest, I felt really disempowered in my childhood with my, I guess how they label it as mental illness, depression, anxiety, all those things. And what has made me empowered is not, I have worked on my mental health with the lack of counseling and finding my own tools and utilizing those. And it's really made me feel empowered to rewire my brain when thinking at one point in my life that was just who I was.
So you've been empowered to find a new identity.
Yes.
I love that. Snehi?
Yeah, so I was just thinking about, since my childhood, I had really good childhood, like all the luxuries and everything. But I guess I always struggled with was freedom, independence. And I, as a child, also, I always So I was labeled to be rebellious because I did not follow what was the norm in the family. Like I was a sports person, and it was not so much appreciated that time, and I was doing that and working. So men should work and women should not work. And today also I do feel like that's the area where I am still struggling to have that financial independence. With financial independence, there's a lot of independence that comes along its way that really makes me feel empowered. And what now that I'm doing that makes me empowered is, so I started with very low income, but I started and I did not give it a thought. And I think that was the best thing to do. I just felt like that's a good time and something I know I should just give it a try. So I did not resist the feeling of really starting it out, however small I had to start. And how feel is that that's how I have uh, pushed myself through all of this long. So small steps, it did make a really big difference in my life.
That is wonderful. It's interesting because I see with you, so Snehi is also a quantum. She does quantum healing, attunement certification, and you've had recently you've had your very first individual sign up for that, right? Enroll in that, and that's the first of many that are coming. So I that's beautiful to me to hear that you are willing just to embrace this, the start, just the start. Sometimes I think we want what's way over here, but we don't recognize that everything starts with just one single step. That's it. Just one step forward then begins you on that journey and that process. So um yeah, all of you have just amazing things ahead of you. So I'm not trying to call one, but I'm just saying, like, for me, like, that's huge that you understand for each and every one of you, that you have stepped into this knowledge of, wow, I have something amazing to offer to the world in so many different ways and have so many different applications. So it's just beautiful to see this journey as well. Lindsey, what's one area you have become much more empowered in that you felt disempowered most of your life?
I felt disempowered in majority of my relationships in all facets of my life, and financial independence and equating your worth to the finances you brought home, and those constructs of society that tell you should be one way or another. So I just needed to stop living by those rules, in a sense, and go with my gut feeling and say, I don't want to be identified in this relationship. I need to be identified as Lindsey. And in order to do that, I need to get my own freedom. And part of that, what was breaking out of these financial constrictions as well. Mm-hmm. So once I really was, like I said, all in on myself and being able to create a business from my creativity and my life experiences, then that was really going to bring me my financial independence, my financial freedom, the lifestyle that I want to live, and living it for myself. And that's how I became empowered. Like I live my life for myself, not in a selfish way, because it's not selfish at all. It's because if I don't live that way, then I can't be who I need to be for my daughter and any other person that, may come into my life.
Yeah. That's so true. I'm going to tie all this together in just a second. Alanna, what about you? What's one area you felt disempowered in that now you've come to feel empowered in?
So one, I would say it's an onion, and I keep learning levels of it.
Yes.
I don't think I've gotten to the end.
No.
But I think I've felt disempowered in my individuality growing up, to be honest. Never quite fit in. And not necessarily in a particularly outlandish way, or like I kind of run the mill, did the things I was supposed to do, but I didn't always feel like I fit. I didn't always feel like I was in this, like I had the same interests or wanted to be the same thing. And I tried to fit into boxes a lot. And I think I'm getting to a point in my life where I'm decreasing that and being way more aware of like, all right, are we trying to fit in a box, or can we just be Alanna today? And it's okay. We could be Alanna, and other people may not get it right now, but that's okay. So that's kind of been my space.
That's awesome. You know, when I hear all of you all share this, there's a few common themes, right? But it shows up in different ways. So this energy of disempowerment, or not feeling like we have a right to or an ability to, or no one's going to get it, and whether it's the right thing because it's not a societal or our cultural norm, that shows up in so many different ways, but yet it's the same kind of energy. And I feel, especially when we're in a position where the financial independence isn't there, if that's a big thing, or if just being ourselves and being allowed to be the quirkiness or whatever it was, if that's a big thing, when we cannot get that stable footing of I'm okay, then that frequency doesn't match the abundance in our lives that we want in whatever area it is. But then that will also permeate through other areas of our lives. So if we're not able to have solid, like, let's just say relationships, let's just for that, like everybody is just like, we keep attracting people that use us, abuse us, whatever, in different ways. We end up, if we're not abundant in that area of our life, we're not going to be abundant in the other areas. It's just going to begin to spill over because it's kind of a core frequency. So I think the reason why I asked that, and I want everybody that's listening to this too, is I want you to begin to identify like a core thing. Just ask yourself just one thing where you feel super disempowered, an area you really feel disempowered in. And then begin to peel that back. Like Alanna said, like I've said, like we're all talking about these layers of this onion, right? Begin to peel it back. Because as you begin to peel that back and begin to say, okay, well, why is this? Well, why is that? Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, right? As you begin to do that, what's going to happen then is you're going to begin to identify very clearly and a core area that is resonating throughout the rest of your life. And a core belief about yourself that is holding you back in other areas of your life. It's going to link to this and link to that and link to this. But a lot of times, if we're seeking like a business success, or we're seeking career success or whatever, and we just can't get there, there may be something else beneath. In fact, there probably is some symptom to that. And that's our core. That's the core disbelief, the core disempowerment, that when we get there, man, everything else just starts opening up. Everything else just really starts opening up and flowing in such a much better. Kitty's like, you've been on these YouTube streets for way too. Girl, if you do not stop it. Don't do that. She's dead serious. Like, I'm gonna tear this thing down. Okay. I'm being told by my cat producer over here that evidently my time is going to be limited here. Okay. If there, and I'm going to throw this out for anybody to be first. if there is one, if you could come up with like an empowerment mantra, if you were gonna wrap it up for yourselves, right? An empowerment mantra or an empowerment affirmation, what would be an empowerment affirmation you would create? Now I'm gonna let that be whoever wants to go first. So I'm gonna let y'all. Yeah, I wish I had the Jeopardy music because I'd play that. If you can come up with an empowerment mantra, what would your mantra or affirmation be? Do y'all want me to go first? I'm pretty sure y'all want me to go first, don't you? Yeah. Okay. Um I would probably say something along, this is my own, and I want each of you guys to think about this kind of thing in your own words. But it would probably be somewhere along the lines of um, I love myself enough to create the life I truly deserve. I love myself enough to create the life I truly deserve. That has been something I've had to get to the point that I truly can embody that and believe it wholeheartedly. Because I can't say honestly that I loved myself fully, completely. Nor can I say that I honestly believed that I truly deserved to live an amazing life. It's just real. So, does that help at all? Is that helpful to anybody in what I'm looking for? Or do we need to move on to the next question? 'Cause I'm fine either way. Y'all don't know. I put y'all. I put you guys on the spot all the time.
I can give it a try.
Yes.
So for me, it is I am my own leader. So that really inspires me. A lot of times I think I have to take my first step is my step, and then you have the followers.
I love that. Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
Woohoo! Okay, now we got one down. I am my own leader. I love that. Yes, ma'am. Miss Cheyenne, go on mute, babe.
I am capable of achieving my goals and my dreams.
Yes. Yay. Yes. I am my own leader. I am capable of achieving my goals and my dreams. Even with Kitty coming over here. Okay. Who else wants to take a shot at it? No? Yes? No? And if you don't want to, I'm not going to force you. Go ahead, Miss Lindsey.
You know, one thing that I've been saying to myself, and I don't know if this is a mantra or what, but it's persistence, not resistance. And you know, a lot of the women have touched on that throughout the day, but that really is what gets me through: persistence and resilience, and not resisting the blessings, because that's what I find some people, when they're in this negative mindset, that they're actually pushing away a blessed life.
That's good. That is really good. When you're in resistance, you are pushing everything away, aren't you? You literally are. That is that energy. Alanna, did you have anything you wanted to add to this, my darling?
Sure, might be a little bit of a mouthful, but I'm exactly who I need to be and have exactly what I need for this moment.
Ooh. That hit. That hit. Wow. That is absolutely beautiful. Can you want to expound on that a little bit? Because that's a deep one there too. That's really good.
I think it's just coming from a place of, like Lindsey was saying, like with resistance. I think a lot of times resistance comes from wanting to be somewhere else, wanting to be someone different, wanting to have something
Mhm.
versus just right now. Be right now. It's okay right now. What can I do right now?
Mm, that is so good. That is so good, and that is so true. That is just amazingly true. I don't even know if we need to say anything. She just closed us right on out, didn't she? Um, wow. You know, I'm going to tell you I needed to hear that, and let me tell you why I needed to hear that. I spend a lot of my time, but just because of who I am, being, and we're all creators, creatrixes here, but I spend a lot of my time creating and thinking of, okay, what's the next thing? What's the goal? What's the this? What's the that? And I do it for myself, and I do it for others. You know, this is a regular thing, right? And being a seer, that's just kind of a natural way of living. But I think too often I do that so much that I'm not appreciative of where I am and where I've come from to arrive at the place that I am today. And I don't just sit and I don't just say, you know, okay, do you really need to do all this for whatever? Or are you good enough right where you're at? Do you really need to do I need this other class or do I need this other this or do I need this other that? Or can I just be who I am in this moment, knowing that I have everything I need for right now and that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be and I have everything that I need right now? That is a wonderful, powerful mindfulness space to live in where you can stop the quantum and just be right here and focused on right here and now. That girl, I don't know if y'all can hear her.
Yeah, she's very vocal. She's like, what did you want?
I need you right here, right now. You right here, right now, be petting me right here, right now. Oh my gosh. All right, ladies. This has been such a blessing to be with you all over the last couple of days. Today has been extremely powerful, extremely motivational, and extremely healing. And I want to honor the masters in each and every one of you because you all truly are wonderful goddesses and masters in your own right. I want to thank you guys so much. Yay, guys. Um, all right, we're going to excuse our panel. Love y'all, love y'all, love y'all, love y'all. Smooches, smooches,
Hi,
smooches.
everyone.
I am so glad that you all that have been able to spend this time with me. Guys, we are going to close it on out for the evening. I want to thank you guys. Thank you, Rebel Taylor. She was here yesterday. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. 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 I'm coming back around. Tamara, thank you. Oh my God. It's been a day. It's been a weekend. I want to thank all of our speakers. So I want to thank Carrie, Tamara, Rebel, Michelle, Cheyenne, Lindsey, and Alanna for being so gracious with their time, their gifts, their energy, their wisdom. And I encourage each and every one of you to please check each one of these ladies out. Again, go to our space here. Go to this link here. Oops, where is it? Nope, it's up here. Soulfulreconnection.net. Please go there. sign up so you can get everybody's freebies in one email, and then the VIP donations as well. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very much, and I'll give you guys some totals. Yes, it's been a powerful summit. Thank you so very much. You're so welcome, Alanna. This has been a great space. This has been a great time. Thank you so much, Michelle, for being here. And these 2 days have been absolutely beautiful. All right, gang, I am going to let you all go with my typical sign off, okay? And my typical sign off is that I wish that every one of you have peace, love, blessings, and joy to each and every one of you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. Namaste until we see each other again. Bye-bye.